Once more, the drama begins. The Emperor Paul Muad'Dib on his ascension to the Golden Lion throne, Dune Messiah. Welcome back to Dune Saga, everyone. This is season 3 of our Dune campaign here on the Stolen Fires channel. I am Eric at Moron Recluse Online, your games master for this epic multi-arc adventure series, which continues tonight with our 5th storyline, Leviathan. As a content warning, this program features adult situations and language and may not be suitable for all ages. Solicitor discretion is advised. A very warm welcome and salutation to new and old viewers alike to the Stolen Fires channel here on Twitch, where there's always a Let's Play or awesome RPG live play to look forward to. Special music shoutouts go to Pixabay, Infraction, aka Kevin McLeod for Midnight Tale, Repulsive Sound, Coag Music, Tabletop Audio, and Bleer Moon for the use of their excellent music. We want to thank Modifus Entertainment for making awesome games for us to play, and we also want to thank Roll20 for the use of their virtual tabletop platform, which is perfect for hosting games like Dune Adventures in the Imperium. And as always, we want to give a warm thanks to our viewers and fans for tuning in. Our house entourage is here and ready to engage in the deadliest of intrigues. Agents of the Imperium, remind your audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Beginning with Aaron.
Oh, goodness. Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron. My pronouns are anything except he, him. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Great Cthulhu in some fashion. Tonight, I will be playing Eloise, Cheshire. These pronouns are she, her.
Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I'm Ambrose. My pronouns are he or they. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. Tonight, I will be tonight I'll be trying to find my tongue. Tonight I will be playing Zoshir Tamer, who recently found out he's related to the Harkonnens.
Conquee Rab Rab.
Okay, Rab. Wow. Devin.
Hello all, my name is Devin. You can find me online at Sort of Sullied, and tonight I am playing not Norma, Conquee Sen, the ex-Bene Gesserit, and now House Envoy. It's great to be here, everyone.
Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me at Leo of the Black right here on Twitch. So yeah, and today I'll be playing Archibald, General Archibald, and let's just say he witnessed some stuff that may complicate things.
Oh, just a wee bit. Yeah,
just a wee bit.
Last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel. I'm Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet. And I am playing Lady Daphne, who may or may not be shot.
Find out in a minute. Let's do a quick recap, if you don't mind, Ambrose, if you'd like to do the honors.
Dreadfully. I mean, sure. Pardo and Eloise arrange a dead drop at the spaceport where Eloise meets with Amira under the watchful eye of both the Tiberii and Archibald Cheshire. Amira is furious at the whole situation, angry when Eloise assures her she has a plan. Everyone has a plan! Well, step 1 of Eloise's plan is getting Amira a Tiberius outfit. Amira doesn't like that, but what other options does she have? The guild still wants to kill the Cheshires. Eloise suggests contacting Mossam. If they let him know that what the guild has done to Kyra and plans to do to him, that might bring House Carino into the situation. The guild would balk at harming the Emperor's own. Hopefully. Amira offers to travel to Kaitane and inform Mossam personally, but Eloise insists on sending a secret message through Pardo. Archibald makes contact and brings up his plans regarding Tupile, and need for a navigator. But the women want to know his estimation of Pardo. Archibald thinks he's loyal to the house. When Amira leaves, Archibald lingers long enough to intimate Eloise has a place in Librius if she wishes. Back at the palace, while Varys conducts his own house affairs, a servant informs Daphne that Nikolai waits for her. She conducts the meeting professionally, turning aside his advances as they finalize their proposal to the Emperor. Daphne's softening up the language, making them look incompetent rather than malicious, when Varys interrupts. He stops short when seeing Nikolai. After introductions and a brief discussion, Varys insists Nikolai take his leave. Varys and Daphne discuss her upcoming spice ritual and the risk it entails. Daphne insists she does this for both the good of herself and her house. But Varys says he can't be happy with this. He will not go with her. She kisses him goodbye. Varys then seeks out Nikolai, whispering something into the other man's ear to make him scurry away. Time to travel to the siege. Conquee isn't happy with Daphne's suitor situation and suggests she's working on something else. And she also describes her own experience with the agony. Meanwhile, she conveys a secret message from Eloise that Daphne is the guild's next target. Daphne realizes one option to secure her safety. The Emperor, after all, is not married. At the siege, Zoshir protects the Idwali before speaking with Nawan about his heritage. The Sayyadina Naib is ready to reveal the full truth. She names his grandfather as Abelard Harkonnen, son of Dmitri and brother to Vladimir. He was uncommonly kind, a liability in his house. It cost him not only the governorship of Arrakis, but his sons with his wife Emmy. Glossu and Fade Rautha were stolen by Vladimir, and Glossu took his mother's family name, Raban. In retaliation, Abelard stole a trove of spice, which earned him a death by strangulation by Glossu, thus known as Beast. What Baron Vladimir seems not to know is that Abelard had a third son, Zanir. When Zanir and his wife died and left an infant son behind, a Fremen named Oshem took the baby in, who named the boy after both his fathers, Zoshir. The new Naib takes this all in slowly. Nawan advises him to look inward for more answers, perhaps implying he might go through his own agony. But not today. Today, Nawan must prepare for Daphne's agony. She asks about Zoshir's feelings for the Outframe. He cannot answer for certain if he loves her. Either way, Nawan will oversee the ritual as Myrma is still recovering. Nawan has one last thing to discuss, however. Zoshir is the Mahdi, chosen by Shai Hulud. Zoshir insists the true Mahdi is Mossam, but Nawan doesn't believe that. Zoshir fulfills the prophecy as well. And isn't it better for the savior of the Fremen to actually be a Fremen? Zoshir absolutely wants to free his people, but shies away from taking the title. For now. After Nawan leaves, Zoshir sits in contemplation, wishing he could speak to his parents again. Well, Nawan hinted that might be possible if he accepted his role as Mahdi. Thus arrives Daphne. She drinks the bitter, liquid fire called the water of life. It's warm, but as the warmth expands, there's also incredible pain. Two voices call out to her. Children who greet her as her mother, and say they love her before vanishing. Daphne tumbles into a void, dying. She struggles for survival, relying on her prana bindu to pull through. She falls into a fog of memories, her psyche cerned. Daphne awakens to Norma looking proudly at her. Sorry, I misread. Seared. Psyche seared. Daphne awakens to Norma looking proudly at her. When Norma asks who Daphne saw, she answers Federico and Adelaide. But not like that. She already picked the names out. Norma sends everyone out of the room and then confronts Daphne. The Duchess admits she's several days into her pregnancy with twins. Norma's furious, trying to explain what Daphne's done, the consequences. Daphne insists the children she saw were fine, then does something else to annoy Norma. She calls off the hit on Yeva. Norma must give her the antidote. After some time to rest, Daphne asks to speak with Cheshire. She has news that might change his feelings. She's pregnant. Cheshire is thrown, wondering if Daphne's children were harmed. But Daphne insists her body can protect them. He's still reserved, perhaps disappointed, but his proposal stands, even if she also accepts Varis. The others notice his growing affection, especially when he asks for her to receive a crysknife. Nawan, however, counsels Cheshire to not reveal his heritage to her. Outframe politics. But he seems reluctant to keep secrets from a potential wife. After all, he's no Harkonnen. On the trip back, Norma is sulky, so Daphne pages through Kyra's journal. She wrote of her visions and ways to circumvent them. The Landsrod destroying itself with atomics, and offshoot of the Sisterhood reaving their way to a cure for some kind of poison or disease. The return of the thinking machines. Mossum, or perhaps Daphne becoming regent, and her own death at the hands of ally who takes her place at Sihaya Tabir. Daphne picks out a message meant specifically for her, a warning against delving too deeply into visions and prophecy. While all this transpires, Archibald seeks out Liet Kynes through the Tiberii. Nelia is harsh with him, but grudgingly gives him directions, suggesting contact information might be here in the palace. He finds the dad in Fenring's old office and arranges a meeting at the conservatory. She agrees, though is suspicious when Archibald admits his interest is in sandworms. Meanwhile, Pardo investigates the maid's death, watching footage of her working, then suddenly stumbling, collapsing, and dying. Using his mentat abilities and consulting with Dr. Sloan, they determined she absorbed poison through her hands. Perhaps when she touched the beds? After all, the barracks are near the shield generator. Sloan also mentions Thufir Hawat, famed mentat plans to visit soon. Pardo would respond, only he realizes his cat is missing. He orders full lockdown, combing through his rooms before finding the cat at the palm trees just outside the palace, eating out of someone's hand. Varis. They have a brief conversation before Varis takes his leave. The lockdown alarms concern Eloise, worried for Amira. When the lockdown lifts, she's relieved and seeks out Pardo. She asks for an extra Tiberii uniform, and Pardo immediately understands for whom and why. He also asks for a game of Cheops. He'd like to play an opponent with prescience. After they speak, Eloise meets with Amira in the luxury district. She explains her deal, but Amira is wary and demands a better explanation for the Watcher in Eloise's visions. Eloise does her best to describe him, but her mind itself rebels at the memory. She does speak of a need to find the fifth nexus before the guild does. Eloise wants to bring them all together to cloud the guild's vision. That seems risky to Amira. And of course, they still need spice. Amira agrees to become a Tiberii as long as she's included on the Razzia. Daphne arrives at the palace, her new hyper-awareness informing her of recent activity. On her way to meet Varis, she runs into Archibald and Kynes. Archibald wants to know if sandworms can be raised and incubated. Kynes wants to know why he'd even want to try. Daphne suggests these creatures aren't livestock, but forces of nature. Kynes explains even the Emperor failed to cultivate the worms. After all, Arrakeen is unique and was created by God to test the faithful. Before she leaves, Daphne invites Kynes to dinner. Daphne then meets with Varis while Archibald eavesdrops. Varis is visibly emotional to the point of tears to see her alive. He confesses that he's falling in love with her before formally proposing. He's still willing to become a triad with her and Zoshir, and so Daphne accepts. Both she and Archibald read nothing but sincerity in his every word and gesture, especially his happiness when Daphne reveals her pregnancy. This might, he says, be the happiest he's ever been. That's when a sniper's bullet shatters the glass.
Thank you for reading, Ambrose, and thank you, as always, Rachel, for writing those excellent recaps. Now we can continue with Leviathan. I think we're just going to jump right into it and take off from where we left off previously. One moment to change the music in here. Okay. So, find yourselves on this map of the residency. I'm sure you can find your name underneath your token. We have Conquee here in the guest suites wing of the palace, along with Marshall Reed. Elois is not far behind in the family bedrooms. Lysander's queen hearts littered throughout the spread out throughout the palace in different areas. We have Archibald here speaking with Dr. Kynes in an office adjacent to the what is this called again? This is a dining room. There are, of course, the Tiberii. Ambrose, you'll be controlling the ones on the east wing here, and this one adjacent to Dr. Kynes and Archibald, Purdy and Nelia, respectively. Mira is dressed as one of the Tiberii, is also here, not too far away from Elois, of course. And then, of course, you have Dr. Sloan in the medical bay, which I've adjusted just beneath the basement area, which is right next to where the shield generator is, and not too far away from the garden conservatory. And then, of course, you have Varis and Daphne in the front foyer, which is where the gunfire is coming from. Or at least it's coming out from the street level, from outside the palace. It's like in here. Secret messages already.
So, question: shouldn't I be closer, considering I was just outside the door, listening in?
You were just talking to Dr. Kynes, so you're literally just like a room or so away. Each one of these areas that you're looking at here, these little boxes, represent zones. So when it is your turn, you can move your token respectively to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Typically, you will only move one zone, unless you happen to make, or unless you spend a point of determination and go again, potentially. Or if you make a move check difficulty 2 or higher, you can then give you can take another action, like another movement, or take another action in that round, or give your action to someone else on your side. Otherwise, it's going to be the enemy goes, you go, the enemy goes, you go, etc. And the first round of engagement here is going to take place with the snipers in particular, since this is an ambush effectively. The first shot has already been fired. Let's see. And it goes through the glass on the front window, right where the main hall is that leads into the palace from outside. So if you can imagine, it's like this sort of Byzantine-looking palace, like almost pyramid-shaped, right at the heart of Arrakeen. And this is all taking place during the daytime. So somewhere out there on the rooftops of the buildings that are just below the eye level of the palace, someone is taking fire into the front foyer, the front hallway of the palace. If the first round goes through the glass, and Daphne, you and Varis's reflexes instantly kick in. Bene Gesserit trained reflexes. You both flinch and look, and Varis has seconds to respond, using the weirding way, as the Fremen would call it, to move to safety. And you see the way he moves, and you see that he's been trained very much like you have under Prana Bindu. So he can very effectively move out of the way of this projectile, but something happens partway through his thought process. He realizes that if he moves, the bullet will continue to go past him, the round, and it will inevitably hit you. So instead, he turns and pushes you out of the way, and the bullet goes right through his shoulder.
Oh, no.
Which creates a blossom of blood on his otherwise immaculate uniform. He falters and falls to the ground, grimaces in pain, and yells, "Shields! Get the shields! Get her out of here!" You see the men in the front all draw their weapons, and immediately some of them activate, take their blades out and activate their shields and stand in the way of the door as more rounds begin to pepper the inside of the hall. There's more than one shooter out there, it seems. So I'm going to say that these guys take shots, and the Queen's Hearts are going to move here to protect you.
Can Daphne take off her own shield and give it to Varis?
You can on your round. If immediately following the gunfire, the guards are radioing into Marshal Reed, like, "Hey, we've got an attack. We're under attack. We need to do something." So an alarm will start to relay throughout the palace, alerting everybody of what's going on. Varis goes next, and he actually has a shield of his own, and he kind of he scans you. Do you have a shield on you, Daphne?
Yes, I've had it since the very first episode.
Okay, very good. So he probably knows that you have a shield, and that's one of the reasons why he yelled "Shield! Shields now, go!" And you see one of the. Let's see. That's what he does this round. He basically is just trying to get to his feet and get to cover as more shots start to come in. These aren't regular rounds, like Mala pistol rounds or something like that. It's going through the particular. It's like a anti-particle rifle or something like that, because it's like literally just going through the palace walls like a knife through butter. So everybody here is in danger, whether or not you have a shield on. Let's see. So Varis takes his turn. He gets to cover. and he's hurt, obviously. Let's see, Daphne, it is your turn. What would you like to do at this point?
Oh shit. Okay. Uh. All right. Varis has his shield on.
Correct.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Daphne will activate hers, and start moving, like grab him by the hand, and start moving into cover.
Okay. The conservatory you had just went into, it's already sealed, but the doors leading into the foyer are open. You see one of the Tiberii are like motioning like for you to come this way, like we're gonna get you into the bunker or whatever, or into the basement, more than likely. And being that he's been shot and he's bleeding, like in that direction is where Dr. Sloan is typically located in his office.
Yeah, that's a good place to go. Dr. Sloan's. And like Daphne will just start screaming on her communette, like, Sloan, get a medbay prepared.
Okay, very good. So you grab Varis and you start moving into the foyer. Did you want to move subtly, or did you want to move boldly, or did you just want to move and stay put for right now?
Move. So what's the difference?
If you move boldly, it's the same as moving subtly, where you have to make a move check, difficulty 2 or higher. And what boldly allows you to do is that the enemy then gets to make a move, or you move them where you want. So you can say, you're moving, you're the target, you're moving away, so now they're being forced to move, you can say, narratively. Or you can say, I move subtly, and I'm sneaking around trying to hide from my snipers, and in doing so, I'm giving the opportunity for someone else on my team to be able to move, before they get to go again.
In that case, move subtly.
Move subtly. Okay, give me a move difficulty 2 check, please.
Oh. Did he use Prana Bindu?
You can. If it's move or discipline based, you can reroll.
No, Varis.
Oh, can Varis? Yeah, he can reroll. He has Prana Bindu as well.
How does he have Prana Bindu? How much momentum do we have?
You have 3 momentum currently.
Lots of secrets.
He has. Okay, that's 1 success. You still need another, however. Did you want to use one of your momentum to reroll? Would you like to pay me with threat?
I'm gonna use Prana Bindu.
The answer is momentum. Okay. All right. Go ahead and reroll. Oh, don't forget, if you have any benevolences, you can use that as well. Hey, that's 2. So you're moving subtly. You both crouch down, and you're like, Varis, come with me. And like you grab his hand, and he's just like he's grabbing his wound, and he's moving with you. You drag him into the foyer where the Tiberii there is like motioning to come forward. He in turn hunches down with you, and he tells you to come this way. Who on your team did you want to go next?
Oh, goodness. Okay, let me look at the map. Unless anyone likes to, has something that they really want to do right now, my inclination is to give control over to the Tiberii so they can return fire.
Tiberii, so they can return fire? Okay. Which one of the Tiberii on the board here did you want to activate? Because depending on which one you choose, Elois, or Aaron, rather, would be moving 1, or Ambrose would be moving 1 of the 2, potentially.
Probably the one who's in the foyer.
Okay. That would probably be a fall. That would be Key's Tiberius, but he's not. Since he's not here, I'll go ahead and move it for him. They start leading you down the staircase. This way, Your Grace. They say, and then start going down the staircase down into the basement where the Queen's Hearts are. And they see that you coming down, so they make way. And as soon as you get down there, they start moving up. They're like, we'll secure the foyer, Your Grace. Everybody starts moving down here automatically. And Latida. Okay, very good. That was a good round. And now we're going to go with Elois. Elois, shots are coming through your window. Give me a move check, please. Difficulty 2.
Oh, they're trying to kill Elois too?
This is an assault.
Oh, okay.
Arconans. I'm looking at you, Cheshire.
These guys conceivably can see through walls, it seems. Since these they don't need to be able to see you to shoot you.
All right, so my move is terrible. I'm gonna say justice for the thing to tie to it. Yeah, that
Sure.
seems fair.
Justice. There's no justice in this.
I mean, but I will get revenge on those who wrong me. So
Absolutely.
all right, let's go. I have no focus, so no.
One
Same,
success. Would you like to spend a determination point, or would you instead want to spend some of the momentum that you have? But keep in mind, you only have 3 currently. Let's roll another die.
I'll spend a 1 momentum to roll.
Very good. You have 1 momentum. Go ahead and re-roll, or roll an additional d20 rather.
I'll take
that's
that.
Success. That's 2. So that's
I'll take
3
that.
successes. Yes.
There you
Okay.
go.
So that actually nets you 1. You earned it back. Good job. So you some premonition tells you I should be standing over here. Like something's happening downstairs, and it reminds you of something that you experienced once in one of your visions, one of your prescient moments, and you just kind of like step to the side, or you drop the tarot cards. That's what it is. Like you're cleaning up your room, or you're assembling your thing, and you hear this rumble downstairs. What the hell is that? And you drop the tarot cards, and when you bend down, like a shot goes right through the wall, and just pieces of it go flying into the room, ricochets off the doorway and stuff, and you're like, holy shit. And like just right where your head was, there's a massive hole in the doorway now. The guards just outside your room are instantly alerted, and you hear Amira like shouting as she starts running over to check on you. What did you want to do on your round?
Sorry, I'm gonna look at the layout real quick. I'm gonna get away from any like outside adjoining walls if possible.
Okay. Just duck down and stay. Are you staying inside the room, or are you moving?
No, I'm leaving the room. I'm gonna move out to the. I can't see what the.
This is the main landing.
The landing, yeah, into the landing, yes. I'll do on the hands and knees, like crawl.
Sure. Okay. So you make it over here. That's the extent of your action. Then you see one of the Tiberii, who you understandably know is Amira. She comes over and she's like, "Are you all right?"
And snaps. Someone's trying to kill me.
The whole palace is under attack, I think she says. She puts her hand to her communinet. Queen's Heart's like, we're absolutely under attack. We're moving out now. Now one of they will go. Conquee, I need you to do the same. Give me a difficulty 2 move check, please.
Okay. Would nimble talent help?
Yes, absolutely it would.
Okay, that reduces
The barrage
DC,
of gunfire coming through the walls.
reduces the DC by 2.
How? How are you reducing it?
That's part of nimble. I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
the
Oh, it's a
talent.
trait. It's okay.
The
Got it.
talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you can. All you need is one success on
gonna
move, which
say
I
that
think
it's
shouldn't be a problem for you.
Because I want to see which way it's coming from. And since it is move, I get to re-roll one of these, so I'm just going to roll it as 3 and take the
All right.
best of the 3. I don't have a focus since it's only in stealth. So that's 2 successes.
Wow. Okay, so you get 1 extra. So you guys are actually up to 4 momentum at the moment. There is a complication there, though.
No, that was the re-rolled one.
Oh, my
I said
bad. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. No worries. All right. So you move out. You manage to move out of the way just as you hear this commotion going on. You instantly duck down, and part of the wall just disappears. These guys are firing into it. Go ahead and take your move as you will. You want to move boldly or subtly or anything like that?
I'm going to move subtly, and I'm going to see if I can assist Pardo in making sure that he doesn't get shot.
Okay.
Since he's a little squishier than me, and he might be smart, but he's not that quick.
He's not quick at all. Okay, so you go to check on Pardo.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Like I said, I'm going to do it subtly. So I'm just going to roll it for said best 3, but I'm going to use stealth as focus.
Sure.
So that's
Look at that.
3 successes on that one too.
Woo! Okay, and another momentum racked up for Team Cheshire. All right, excellent. Very good. All right, so you're up to almost maximum now. You're up to 5 momentum. You managed to move over to Marshal Reed's room, which is like right down the hall, and you hit the palm lock, and it opens up, and you see he's already on the ground. What you doing? You have an additional action since you moved boldly, so you can take another action or give it to somebody else.
Wait,
I said to move subtly.
has Pardo been
Yes.
shot?
No, he just went to the floor.
Oh.
No, I just informed him we're under attack. I don't know who it's coming from the front. Who can it be?
You see, he's like, he looks around and you see he's with Schrodinger, like in the corner, like, are you okay? Don't kill my cat, please. And he's just like, I don't
give
know.
him the...
He's like, I'm getting the reports now. And he's like, we need to, and he's like, his eyes roll back into the back of his head. And he's like, we need to activate the shield immediately. That place is trapped, however. Whoever goes down there needs assistance. Go quickly.
Stay safe. I book it towards where he said. Where is the shield generator?
Shield generator is all the way down here.
Okay,
in the
yeah,
basement
I see it
area.
now.
So you
Yep.
would have to move from where you are right now to the landing. So you'll bump right into Elois, the Queen's Hearts, and Tiberius. One of the Tiberia, anyway.
Okay. Then I will do so.
Okay. All right, party on the stairway. All right. Let's see.
Target-rich environment. What?
Very good. Marshal Reed is issuing orders to the Queen's Hearts and to the Tiberii. Let me just double check. I don't think he has this talent, but if he has direct, then he can instantly give them an action. Talents verify, intense study. No, he does not. So he's just going to issue orders normally and then move away from the room and take his cat with him. So he's not very good at moving, so he's not going to try to move subtly or boldly. But there's now a big old party on the stairwell. Let's see. Guys already moved. Queen's Hearts all go now, or one of the units at least will go now. Let's see which one that is. That is going to be this one on the stairwell. It goes immediately down into the foyer. Another set of shots come in from outside. Let's see. We're gonna go with Queen's Hearts. They defend adequately against the assault. Look, their shields are holding up, and as they literally just get in the way and let the Duchess and everybody else get out of flee into cover. Let's see, this one just moved down here. This is not the other one's turns yet. Now it is Archibald's turn. What are we doing, Archibald?
Am I getting shot at?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
You're in the office with Dr. Kynes. Dr. Kynes and her Fremen like all drop underneath the desk and like to take cover as soon as they hear these loud shots like blowing through the walls and stuff like that. But it is your action. You have your Varangian guard on the premises. You can summon them if you wish.
Okay. Obviously I would take cover as well to make obviously not get hit. So am I on the second level? It's a big castle, correct?
The big palace, yeah.
Okay. So what my goal is here is I want to find the high ground to be able to basically scope them out, see where they are. They're snipers, right?
Yeah, these are snipers, and they're shooting from just outside the residency, from the Arrakeen. It is, as far as like zones are concerned, they're like one zone removed from that foyer, but several zones away from where you're at.
So there's no way I'd actually be able to see them, correct?
No. Not from this distance. No chance.
So our only option would be to leave, correct?
Yeah, you can take it into a different. You can go into a different room, or however you wish. You're basically moving throughout the palace, taking cover or taking actions. On the Communinet, you hear the Varangian guards spring to action, asking if you're okay. They're getting reports from the other, from the Queen's Hearts, that the palace is under assault.
Okay. I'm gonna go over the Communinet and I'm gonna be like, do we have a visual of who's doing this?
They themselves do not have a visual, but they can move in that direction if you want them to.
My Varangian guard usually do have shields,
Yes.
so I would definitely be using them to my advantage here. So yeah, I would probably tell them I wanted. Obviously, we need to get a visual going right now. And I am closest to the shield generator room.
You're close, yeah. You can make your way down. You can start making your way down anyway.
Yep. So I would actually tell Kynes, be like, Kynes, help me. We need to go to the generator room if you want to make it out alive.
Right.
So let's go.
Lead the way.
Yep. And I would go all the way, start making my way towards the generator room. We need to get the shields up.
Make your way down here.
Up earlier is completely beyond me.
Excellent. One of these guys are going to go now. They already shot at these guys, so let's see. These guys already moved. Well, these guys have already gone, so now it's just Dr. Kynes. There's more of you than there are of the enemy in this particular case, so Dr. Kynes will take a move as well, and she'll follow suit if you're not taking any specific movement actions. And moving right along, we have one of the Tiberii. This one is Nelia. Ambrose, what did you want to do in terms of movement? This one right here.
Let me switch that screen. Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, this is the one right here in the dining room.
I'm trying to think of what WWND. What would Nelia do? Well, she's a Fremen, so she's good at the sneaky, I believe.
Yeah. She's good. She's a good survivor.
I think she would try and find a roundabout way to find out who the assassin was and possibly take them down.
So you're heading outside the palace, potentially.
Yes.
Are you going to go through the front airway, through the front hall that leads out there, or are you going to try to take like a secret entrance or something like that out, like a side exit or a back exit? If you take the side exit or the back exit, it'll take you longer to get to it because you're taking a circuitous route to get there. But if you take the more direct route, it's much dangerous. Okay, so you're going to take the more yeah. That's fine. Yeah. There, in spending what little time you have had, several weeks by now, I would imagine, in this palace, you've learned from the security team that there's several exits and entrances that lead out of the palace that are not known to most people. One of them is through the linen laundry or the pantry store area, so you'd have to go through the kitchen. So you can move normally and just move one zone at a time per round, or you can try to take additional moves. But in order to do that, you would have to make a move check of 2 or higher if you wanted to take a risk.
No. Do it. We have the momentum.
You have momentum if you want to spend momentum.
Okie dokie. Let's do it.
Okay. Spending 1, I imagine?
Yeah.
All right, so you're rolling 3 dice, and I'll show you your character sheet here in a second. Nelia. Here we go.
Is that like Beetlejuice? Will she be summoned?
You have been summoned. Let's see here. You should see it pop up on your journal under Seach Hagahag. There's a character sheet for Nelia. And just like your regular sheet, you're going to click move, and you're going to pair it with a drive, and you want 2 successes or higher. And remember, you're rolling 3 dice for this one.
Let's see. So her statement for faith would make a lot of sense. Knowing is a luxury. Trust your instincts. So, like,
Correct.
trusting instincts to go check. But also truth in knowing who the assassin is. Is it metagaming if I just go for faith because it's actually got a statement?
Metagame the fuck out of this, Ambrose.
That's
You heard it here,
doesn't seem
folks.
fair.
Metagaming
Go
is
for it.
always morally correct. Thank you.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's exactly how it works.
I
If you want to
mean-
survive.
I try to make everything I do be about either truth or duty, because those are my 2 best scores.
Yep. Same. Well, not me, it's-
Successes.
Understand or battle.
I'm only truth and duty because it's all I do.
Yeah.
So, and these are long-range snipers, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, so they're over at the next town, sniping us away. Gotcha.
You got 2 successes, so you successfully move suddenly into the kitchen, and you can move again into the pantry store, or elect someone else, regardless of whether they've gone or not, to move again or to take an action.
While Nelia is in the kitchen, I was thinking maybe she might, if it's out, not anything that takes intense searching, knives that look good for throwing.
Knives that look good for throwing. Okay, yeah. You easily grab one right off of a tray there. You just take it with you. A lot of the staff are just like huddling underneath, so they see you rushing through and they get out of your way. Pick up a nice blade. Do you move again into the pantry store? Is that your idea before you head out to the secret entrance?
It would be in the pantry.
Okay. Yeah. Right in there. Excellent. Now let's see who's got. We got the Queen's Hearts on the upstairs servants' quarter staircase landing. They are going to. They're going to move down into the kitchen area to secure the backside of the palace. Now the other Tiberia will go. Now this is Hurdy, in this area here in the female dormitories, the servant wing of the palace. Hurdy was probably doing something innocuous in her quarters, and when all this broke out and she started like hearing all this, commotion, so she started throwing on her Tiberii outfit and like, oh no, I'm gonna be late. What's going on? Just running out into the hallway trying to figure out what's going on. What would Hurdy do in this situation?
WWHD. Hurdy seems. Would Hurdy have seen Nelia make that move?
No.
Okay.
But you could have, because you have the Tiberia outfits, we could say that they were in communication with one another. You can easily just, yell into your communinet and with anybody who you're networked with and be like, hey, we're under attack. I'm heading out this way, whatever.
Okay.
You wanted to coordinate with her.
Yes, Hurdy would go out the opposite way to kind of flank on either side.
Oh, okay. So you both go through the same exit, but then you'd come from different angles to sandwich your foe. Okay. Give me well, actually, yeah, she would just be able to move into the servant upstairs quarter. Did you want to move subtly as well, or
Absolutely.
boldly, to force your enemies to move again?
Subtly.
Subtly. Give me another move 2 roll, this time with Hurdy's sheet.
Oh boy, which drive? Well, you have statement for truth. That's perfect. If it's there, I will see it.
Go for it.
It's amazing. Should and or can I use another momentum?
You can use another momentum if you like. Roll 3 dice instead of 2. Absolutely.
Is everyone good with that?
Go for it.
Go for
Do it.
Wait. Don't fail me, Hurdy.
Oh shit!
no.
Oh
For the
shit!
complication. So she's half dressed, like trying to put this thing on, like, oh, wait. Like, like almost stumbling down the stairway, like, oh god,
Birdie
having a
failed
terrible
in
time.
A very
She failed,
Birdie
so
way.
That's classic Birdie.
She's not going anywhere anytime yet. And Nelly is like, come on, hurry up. All right.
It suits her so much.
It does.
Just let me get this boot on.
You see, the Tiberia that's with you, Daphne, she, they kind of listen in and they're like, man, we need to head into, or Your Grace, we need to head into the shield generator and get it activated so we can protect the palace. This way. And, like, they grab your arm and they start heading into the shield generator right away. Do you go with them? Or do you stay in the basement?
I need to know that Varis is going to be okay before I do that.
He's following along with you. Like, he's just, keeping he has the shield activated and he's got his blades out and he's just like, being wary. Like, if there's an attack upon the palace, he wants to protect you at all costs, so.
Yeah, so, in that case, I'll tell the Tiberii to take him to the medical bay.
Okay. They're just like, this way. He points to Dr. Sloane's office and starts, like, leading him ahead of him. But they instruct you to, like, go into the shield generator quickly. You'll be safest there. Varis is like, no, not without Daphne. Do you go with them to the medical bay?
Oh, shit. Fuck. I was not expecting to have to make these kinds of choices.
I have an idea if you're willing to hear it.
Yeah?
Call for the doctor to come down to your safe space.
Yeah, but, like, all the medical equipment is there in the bay that he'll need.
Doesn't have a first aid kit he carries around?
Oh, yeah. A
Noble?
gunshot.
No.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. I could ask Sloan
What's
to
that?
meet us in the generator room.
Yeah, okay, that works.
Alright, that's what I'll do.
All right, excellent. So this Tiberii will take you with them into the shield generator room, and Varis will follow shortly. Let's see, Queen's Hearts. This guy here, this unit, Archibald. They're all kind of ducked down in each corner of the room here, just next to the entranceway, and they're like, "Stay here, sir. We're heading out to meet the enemy." They say, and they immediately move into the next adjoining area to shield you all from the oncoming fire.
I'm going to ask,
Yeah.
do you have a visual on any of this? Do you know who's doing this?
Not at all, sir, but we're working on it right now. We're dispatching ornithopters to get some air cover.
Okay. Do what you need to do. Make sure your shield are up as well.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
want you dying.
Yes, sir, General. You radio into Dr. Sloan, Daphne, and he's like, I heard what's happening. I'm on my way now. And like, you hear him, like, rushing to grab his tools and heading up the way to the basement. He immediately moves in, sees Varis, like, slumped against the wall, and he's like, don't worry about me. It's like, make sure she's okay. And like, he points to the shield generator room. And he's like, oh, all right. He starts trying to move
He's
that
the
way.
one who's been shot. Him first.
Anyhow, back to the beginning of the initiative. Now the enemy gets to go. Hooray! Let's see. They're going to start rolling some hits here. I'm going to try to attack your forces in the front. Oh. The first set was a success. The second set was not.
Oh, God.
Wow. Okay, so that's 2 hits. So, yeah, that unit is gone. So you see some of the Queen's Hearts are, like, protecting and, like, trying to get a bead, and, like, the ornithopters are in the air already, and, like, we see, like, we're scouring the area of Arrakeen looking for shooters on top of these buildings, and what they're like looking through oil-lens binoculars, like trying to see if they can spot them. And just one of the guys who's part of this group in the front just gets it right in the face, like right through the binoculars. Head explodes, and like within his shield, it's just like blood coating the inside of his shield, and he just falls headless to the floor. The particulate rifle seems to have shot a projectile that as soon as it gets, it's like a slow pellet stuller, it's a slow pellet stunner, where like it gets close to the shield, and as soon as it gets within proximity, it goes, it slows down and it like bores its way through the shield slowly, and then boom, it hits its target and kills them.
What the
a whole
fuck?
unit of them just get killed that way, and the other Queen's Hearts are like, oh shit, we're taking heavy fire. Now it is time for somebody on your turn to go. However, I am going to spend some threat and have them go again.
Oh, shit.
This is called keeping the initiative. I'm spending 2 threats, and this other unit will now open fire on the next set. So you have to roll some. Oh, okay. Something goes terribly wrong with their weaponry. Okay, so they're having to ditch their weapons and move. So these guys here are moving instead. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. And that guy is just going to... Okay, that guy's doing a special thing in the market. And now it is Varis's turn. Varis, Sloan is like, nonsense, you're wounded. Lower your shield so I can mend to you. And he sees Dr. Sloan for a moment. And he's like, all right, fine. I deactivate his shield. And he's like, I took it. It went right through, I think. And he's like, oh, Jesus, you're right. And starts working on him. So he's staying put, but he's like, even though the doctor's like trying to treat him, he's like, Daphne, wait. And like he starts moving in your direction. And Dr. Sloan's like, wait, I need to. He's like, he just manages to slap a patch onto it to stop the bleeding. And then Varis is like, okay, that's good enough. And he turns around and he starts walking away. He's like, no, wait, stop. I'm all out of actions with my bad guys, so now it is you, Daphne. You're in the room with the shield generator. This room in particular, the room that you just come through in the basement were like a series of beds, like look like a barracks basically. This is where that maid died, if you recall.
Right.
Now you're in the shield generator room. Massive machinery here. Several dynamos off in the distance. They're not on, however. You could try to activate them now, but I would need a understand roll. Or you could use your other memory and gain automatic successes as to how this machinery actually works and get it to come on successfully. I'm not going to tell you the difficulty, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guess. And see what you do.
Can I roll other memory if I try to roll understand and don't get it?
I think you can do both. Can you confirm that for me, Devin?
Yes, other memory works automatically, so you can use other memory to try and find the answers within your genetic history and get up to 3 automatic successes on this roll.
All right, I'm gonna make the normal understand roll first, because Daphne is not really used to using this power yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think duty's a good drive. No focuses. Oh, okay, 1 success.
Did you want to spend any momentum, or did you want to go straight into just using the other memory and...
I'll use other memory.
Okay, how much?
Other memory?
That's up to you, Eric. As to how many successes it gives based on her other memory and her genetic lineage.
It is? I thought it was up to the...
No.
Up to her.
You're thinking of the voice.
I am.
You can buy up to 3 with the voice. This one is just listed as up to 3 automatic successes.
1 second. You can get up to 3.
If I can have up to 3, I'll take all 3.
Take all 3 for 4. Did you want to spend momentum or give threat to roll additional dice? Yes or no? This will give you 4 successes currently if you use all 3 of other memory.
Use a momentum.
Yeah, I'll use a momentum.
Okay. Very good. Let's go ahead and roll the die.
Yes!
That is excellent. Okay, so that would give you 5 successes. That's epic level, successes here. So you more than succeed. I'm going to give you some momentum back for that. So you're going to need it in a moment. So you're like, I you kind of concentrate and you listen to the voices that are rising to the surface within you, and they're saying like, this is how this operates. You recall these lives, these moments in time that others within your line had knowledge of this sort of stuff, and you instinctively you're like, oh, I know what I have to do here, and you start like working stuff and putting on the generators, and you see the dynamos start turning, and like you see electricity crackle between them and stuff, and all of a sudden you hear like and you hear like a like almost like a cheer throughout the hallway, like shields up, shields up. You see the Tiberii behind you. It's like, oh good, you have the shield up. And then they stab you.
What the fuck?
Roll battle.
What?
Difficulty 1. Let me show you what your difficulty is.
Knew it.
1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna spend 2 threat to get rid of that 20 complication. You know who this is now.
Oh
Yep, I
my
know exactly
god.
who it is.
Oh fuck. Okay.
The slow blade penetrates the shield, and you feel blood start oozing out of your back. Hello, sister.
Oh fuck.
Now you're trapped in here with me, she says.
Oh shit. Alright, how much momentum do we have?
You have 2 momentum. 3
Fuck.
momentum, sorry.
I'm spending all 3, guys. I need 4 dice. My battle is terrible.
Are you trying to roll to fight the dagger or just avoid it?
Just get the fuck away.
It's a surprise attack, from
Yeah.
the back, literally backstabbing.
Do I
You hear
have...
a pounding coming at the door where she locked entry into the generator room.
Oh,
It's
fuck
Varis,
me.
of course. 2 successes. That's not enough. Do you have a statement to go with your duty? I think you do.
Upholding my house is everything.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to spend a point of determination?
Oh, God.
Recommend it.
Yes. Also, if I get extra point of determination that I can only use in service to the house, can I spend that?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay.
So that would give you exactly 4. You need more than 4 because in this game, you have to meet or exceed the threshold. She's attacking you and you're defending.
Oh, shit.
So you have to have more than 4. If just by 1.
Okay. Oh, I'll spend both those determinations. Like, would that be useful?
Just contemplating if it's legal or not. Spending more than
They
one
Okay.
never.
determination.
It doesn't say
Sure.
in the rules anything about it, so
Sure, go ahead. One was very specifically tied to defending the house, and you were defending the house in this particular instance. So yeah, I think it works well for that. Go ahead, and so that would give you 6 successes, which is 2 more than you needed. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so then you get 2 back. Your reflexes kick in immediately, and you're like, you see the reflection of her blade coming down behind you just in time. I'm assuming you had your own shield activated at this point, so it made it that much more difficult for her to. So actually, you're back to 3 momentum because the shield automatically increases her difficulty by 1. So yeah, it goes through and it almost turns red as it pierces the shield and tries to make contact with you. She does manage to scratch you though. The blade isn't poisoned because it belonged to somebody else who's now dead. But yeah, she leaves you a little scratched, but not terribly injured at the moment. And you kind of back away like, oh shit. She, of course, removes her mask and shows you who she really is. I have to say, finding Gregos here was easier than I expected, she says. And she starts, backing you up into the corner. His trail started outside of Jabberwock, and I only needed a starting point. The bodies he left in his wake told me where he was going next. Milos was easy to track because he was messy in his dealings with smugglers and pirates. My kind of people. It didn't take much to see where they were going or how they were planning on their financing their job. But his
So,
trail. Go
what?
ahead.
You thought you would give me the Elf-Carter's heads and you'd be welcomed back into the house with open arms?
She laughs at you. To this house? Please. I just could. No, I'm not even here for you, but I couldn't resist an open target. Gregos' trail from his face-to-face dealings with the pirates from Tupile led me to Elonidas in House Chol. I found a dead heir, dead parents, and a dead souk doctor after having performed some really expensive procedure on our boy Varis back there. All roads led to Arrakis. All the activity that's been going on, the spice bribe and Randama's murder. It was only a matter of time before someone figured you out. Gregos, he says. And the pounding on the door stops for a moment. But while Greg is the job I'm here to complete, like I said, you're just bonus. I have to finish what I started with Mother with you, dear sister. All right. And now that it is your turn technically, but you've already gone. And you cannot spend another point of determination to go again. So I'm going to move right along to Elois.
Now that I'm with Amira and I know that it's all of us being targeted,
Yes.
to Amira, she's going to say we need to find Daphne immediately. She's probably high on their list.
She she goes quiet when she says, "We have to protect that woman who threatened you just not too long ago to kill you if she saw you."
She'll just dead eyes right at me, even though I know it's the Tiberium mask, but like she knows where her eyes are. I've lost enough family for a lifetime, Amira. Now let's go.
You're asking something very difficult for her to do, but because she loves you, she moves quick as the wind to try to get to Daphne. So, let's see. Amira, I think you have control over Amira's sheet.
I do.
You can move boldly or subtly. Either case, you would need to roll move difficulty 2 to succeed. Otherwise, you just move one zone.
Okay. I think can both of us go?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
She could grab you and take you with her.
Yeah. We'll.
Or
move.
vice versa in this case.
We'll move swiftly.
Very good. Give me a move roll.
All right. Hers is definitely better than mine. I think she's gonna roll with faith because I trust my heart, not my head.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Faith, submit, 2 dice. No, stealth does not apply here.
2 successes. There it is.
Nice.
Okay. So she moves here. She takes you with her. Did you want to take another move action in this case, or did you want to pass to somebody else?
We're only 2 away, so, or no, there's a staircase. So we'll be with Varis if we move again, right?
Correct. And the doctor.
Okay. Yeah, we'll move again.
All right. Sounds good. So Amira, Elois, Dr. Sloan, and Varis are in the same room together. They're like, hey, and you see Varis is like pounding on the wall, and he's just like, and Dr. Sloan is like, wait, you're still injured. Open the door. Conquee.
Oh, can we?
Oh, yes.
Can we spend momentum to keep the initiative?
You can. Well, if you already move subtly, I don't know if you can. I don't believe so.
All right. Fair
Otherwise,
enough.
you could spend 2 momentum, and yeah, you can keep the initiative.
All right. Fair enough. Cool.
But it's not. You don't have to spend it actually, because I only have so many bad guys. So,
Okay.
let's see. Conquee.
I am moving stealthily.
Very good. Can we move? Hey, that's Wow, I
3
think you're
successes,
full
not
on.
4. 3 successes, not 4.
Oh, okay,
And
gotcha.
But I do have the nimble thing. So
You get an extra momentum, so you're up to 4 now, which is pretty good. Where do you want to move, and what do you want to do after you move subtly?
I would like to move another area to get into the same area with Eloise. The doctor,
Okay, it's a
and,
party now.
Varis.
Yeah, you're all in the basement with Varis. Varis is injured. His shoulder's been shot. It's been somewhat treated by Dr. Sloan, but he's trying to get into the room with the shield generator, and he just can't. Is there something you do or say? I'll let you move into here on entering.
Is there a reason why I can see that the door is locked? Is it something that...
It is. It's locked on the other side. Mechanical lock, not like a palm lock where you just need to, have a reader read your genetic makeup to let you in. So it's like physically like clank clank like a.
Oh, okay. So it's like
think of it like a vault lock. Yeah, exactly. So there's no way you're getting in there unless you use a las gun. Or have some interesting way of like unlocking that mechanism.
There would be nothing in other memory that would be able to help me with this, would there? For interesting
There might
ways?
There may be, yeah. Let me see. You can probably get up to 1. You can get 1 extra other memory bonus to this action.
Okay. Seeing as he's doing or he's pounding, I'm presuming it's something horrible, so we have to get that door open. What must be done, must be done. I don't have a focus for it. And that's 2 more successes for a total of 3.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that succeeds. I was gonna ask, can I assist?
Yeah, I'll allow it. You were
Cool.
just moving this round, so go ahead and roll. This is going to be an understand roll for you.
Okay. Does data analysis apply here?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I'm
By the way, did anyone
Need at least
say-
1 more success.
okay. As my assistant, I'm only rolling 1 dice, right? I'm gonna roll
Correct.
justice also. Okay.
Excellent. 1 success. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so between you and Eloise, you managed to you're like, oh, there's a trick to this if you know the mechanisms, but you have to pull out this thing and there's a release switch that when you pull it, it unlocks the door from this side as opposed to the other side. But you have to get into the guts of it. You both work together to get that panel open, and you together you reach through and you pull it, and you hear a clank clank, and the door rolls open. Varis immediately locks eyes with Alicia. Alicia sees him. Alicia smiles, and Varis is just steel glare. Marshall Reed's turn. Marshall Reed is moving. He's going to try to assist the Tiberii. Hurdy over here, helping her put on her uniform. Go now! They need you down there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Queen's Hearts are staying put for right now, while the other Queen Hearts are moving out. Archibald, it's your turn. There's a great amount of commotion going on outside still. You hear the different units are moving out to intercept the enemy. Ornithopters are flying overhead and going into Arrakeen. What are you doing?
Okay, so quick question: how important is the lady that's with me?
Super important.
And extremely important to the Emperor. She's the
Probably-
Imperial Planetologist, and to the
Okay.
Fremen also.
Probably more
So-
important than Daphne.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I was-
So I would
I was gonna
most
say more
likely
important
be
than
saying
Eloise.
the kinds, we need to get you out of here. And I'm going to assume that someone over the comm
Mm-hmm.
said the shield generators are up, blah blah blah.
Oh, you heard it. It was throughout the whole house, shields up, and you're a static. So now you're actually shielded inside of the palace. They can't penetrate a shield of that magnitude with their particle rifles or whatever. So you're safe for the time being.
So I'm going to tell Kynes, be like, okay, we need to leave now.
If that's the priority, General, please lead the way.
Agreed. And I'm also going to try to do a understand roll on the castle.
Okay.
To see if there's any hidden shortcuts that I could take like
You already know. Yeah, you've been informed by the security team. Captain Hajan is like, yeah, there's several entrances and exits in the palace that you'd be able to access as part of the Regis Familia. You would be aware of that.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I would do.
Cool.
And I would
You're gonna
take
move
her
into-
out.
Which way are you going? Going this way?
Shortest route possible to get her off the premises, so that way nothing happens to her.
You can actually go through the front now because they're no longer able to shoot through. So you can actually move into the main entryway and then lead her out. If you take if you spend a determination point or
Wait,
the initiative
so
or whatever.
In the front, which is right here,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes, you can
I
go
don't
like right here, and then you can keep the initiative or whatever, or move subtly, and then Kynes can go, and you can both make it out of the palace and head over to like where the landing pad where like the ornithopters are.
Okay, so I would rather not be seen by the snipers themselves,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously they've shown that they have some high-tech weaponry. So I would most likely not take the front door because that's where the shooters are. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably take an exit that's adjacent. There's got to be more than one exit to the Thropter pad. This is a giant castle after all. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Which way are you going? Sorry.
I guess towards the medical bay, basically somewhere where no one's gonna see us. That way they can't.
Oh,
do
you're
anything
joining the
tricky.
party? Okay, I got you.
Oh no, I don't want to join the party. No, I want them
Oh, okay.
to. Basically, I want to. So there's the front door, and then there's another exit. Correct?
Yeah, you can go this way through the front. That's the shortest distance out of the palace. The longer distance would be this way, the same way that one of the other Tiberii is taking to go around and basically pincer attack your
Okay.
shooters.
So, but they're not gonna see us go out of the palace, right? If we go that way.
Maybe it just depends. They're probably not going to be sticking around after taking so many shots, and now that you have air power coming out to find them and shoot them or whatever, they're probably not bothering to shoot at the palace anymore. So they're probably not looking for you anymore.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah,
your tactical mindset. It's like, well, they're not going to stick around and shoot at something that they can't actually
can't get
affect,
to,
right? So it's safe to go out through the front if you want to go that way.
Okay, then yeah, I would say go out through the front then. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I know I made that a little
In
bit more
here?
complicated.
That's all right. You take Kynes with you. Did you
100%.
want to spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative and have
100%.
her go, or sorry? Yeah.
Yep, I would spend 2 momentum, like I said, get her off.
Let's see.
You're gonna do what to Kynes?
Really, Daphne?
she brings
Get her off
a super
off the
bring each other outside.
Who
My
has a
guys
squirt gun
are
for Daphne.
hiding.
If I wasn't gonna make the joke, someone else was gonna make the joke.
Yeah.
100%. All right, Ambrose. It is time for Nelia to act.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did you want to move boldly out into the outside of the palace here? Just to be clear, the exact shape of the palace is not covered completely. It's like there's the palace, and then there's like a courtyard or something like that, and that's where the shield comes up around there. So there's like room to move around in. But as for your plan to get out to Arrakeen to pincer attack the enemy, that's not happening anymore now that the shield's up. Unless you jump into no, you can't even jump into an ornithopter at this point, so you're kind of trapped within the boundaries of the shield currently. What would you like to do?
Still identify at least who they are.
Okay.
Like try and
all
find
right,
any
yeah.
identifying.
Get up on the
anything.
battlements and yeah. Give me okay, so you're gonna move out to the battlements and try to see if you can spot your shooters. Go ahead and give me a discipline observation if you have it as a focus for Nelia.
She's got survival desert.
Oh, okay. That won't do in this particular case, but you're just trying to spot it, a needle in a haystack right now running on a building. If you roll 2 or higher, you'll succeed.
This is truth. Yeah.
This is truth.
Not choosing focus.
Oh no! Did you want to spend some momentum and roll an additional die, or did you want to spend a point of determination, anything like that? Do you have a statement for what you rolled?
Oh, she doesn't have a statement for truth.
Okay.
How bad do y'all want to know who tried to do this?
How much momentum do we have?
Much momentum. 2 currently.
I mean, we kind of already know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will let that be.
You scramble up to the battlements. You know you're looking out to try to see if you can find these guys, and it's like especially with the sun glaring down overhead, like it's very difficult to spot these assassins. Queen's Hearts go next. They're gonna go with you to secure that end of the building, so they're just gonna move in here. Next is the other Tiberii, which is Hurdy. Hurdy, with the help of Marshall Reed, manages to get her outfit on, doesn't waste any more time. Is she going to try to move in a particular manner on the way down the staircase, or what is she doing exactly? Or did Nelia communicate anything to her through her communicator?
She probably communicated with her. Is there any chance? Let me take a look at her sheet and see if there's any chance she could observe a little better than Nelia.
Very good.
Truth, if it's there, she will see it. Her
Nice.
discipline is observe.
Observe. Okay. Yeah, that's she's a scout, so it makes perfect sense. Yeah, go for it.
Excellent.
Successes. Okay. All right. And how are you Are you making this? Are you spotting the enemy this way? Are you looking out the window or something?
How close is she to any place of observance?
I mean, you're on one end of you're on the upper levels of the palace, so there's probably like windows up here, and you could look out. You could see the ornithopters swarming over different areas of Arrakeen. You made the 2 successes, so you can potentially spot something that they don't see even from that high up.
Yeah, that's what she'll do. Is since she's so high up, she's just gonna kind of. Would she have any equipment on hand? Let's see, Chris Knife disc transform kit, still suit. Does Transform kit have binoculars?
Yeah, absolutely. It actually would.
Sorry.
Oil lens binoculars. You just kind of look out, and you see the ornithopters. The Cheshire ornithopters are swarming over 2 locations in particular: the Arrakeen spaceport and the Arrakeen market. And you see, as they're like swarming all over the place, you start tracking like individual people on the street level from the balcony, and you're just like. And Marshall Reed sees what you're doing, and it's like, look over there. It's like, he's gonna try to assist you. If he can help you, should do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He rolls 1 die, but he still succeeds. His understand is out there, and he's like, oh yes, right there. Zoom in on that. And you're like, oh, this one. And like you zoom in, and like you see, one of the assassins had made some sort of a distraction at the spaceport that brought the attention of the moving boldly, in other words, that made them think that they were moving to the Arrakeen streets back into the or moving into the city. So some of them are veering off this way, like, oh, there's a speeding car, let's follow it. But they're actually like moving around, and you start seeing them like they're lining up another shot on the palace on over on that side. Obviously, they can't get through now because there's the shield, but it looks like they're attempting to hide. But you have their location, so you can call. Now that you've successfully made the roll, you can call it in, and they can try to like circle back and swarm their position.
I think Hurdy would definitely do that, and she'd be like, "Guess what I just found."
Excellent. Okay. You see, Marshal Reed is like, we found their location. Zero in on them now. No mercy. Bring them in alive if you can. Understood, sir. Maybe you're off. Now we're back to Alicia in the basement. It's up here. You see, you have your shield up, Daphne, and she's just kind of like playfully like coming out with one of her blades and like tracing it across like where your face would be, like, and then like the blade just kind of arcs along with this blue sheen coming from the shield as it bounces off. She's toying with you like a cat does with a mouse. And she looks at you and is like, while it was House of Cardus that killed Federico and Beatrice, Janice Cheshire was the one that gave the order to murder the Carol's daughter, Haifa. This is why our house is so cursed. We belong to a house of child killers, Daphne. To parents who abandoned us. They deserve to die like the dogs that they were.
You know why Janice did what she did?
Yes, she did. And she couldn't live with the guilt. Why do you think she jumped off a balcony?
I jumped off the balcony. I went through the spice agony yesterday, and it has changed my perspective.
Oh, your perspective.
I saw what happened when Adelaide found out that Beatrice was dead. I saw Janice give the order, and I saw what happened to her when she was a child that made her so cold. I have seen 20 generations of Cheshire women who suffer, who grieve, and who make terrible decisions based on that grief.
Good.
And I didn't just see it, I felt it. Every single broken heart, open grave.
She starts welling up with tears as she knows that this is what her life has come to, that she's going to murder her own sister in the basement of this castle, on this desolate planet, this trap. And she's like, good, she says, forcing her way through the tears. Then you'll have company in hell when you join them. She goes again for another attack. I need you to roll battle, please.
Shit. Fuck, I'm so bad at this.
I'm spinning some threads.
How much momentum do we
Okay.
have?
You have 2 momentum currently.
I'm gonna spend
So-
one.
All right, I'll spend one too.
Ah!
Question, just because,
Yeah.
since are you just trying to avoid the dagger
Yes.
this entire time? Can she also use move instead?
Yeah, she's a passive. She's not. If you're not actively fighting her, you can use move instead, and you can use Pranabindu to re-roll. And also, don't forget if you have
Okay.
benevolence. Also, don't forget I have 3 malevolence. I've been keeping track.
Shit.
She
Alright,
has
I'm
focus
still gonna
on us.
spend that momentum. Oh, fuck me. I'm getting stabbed.
4 successes.
Oh shit, I'm so getting stabbed.
Not good.
The slow blade, Daphne, the slow blade. And like she starts moving in like this, and you try to put up your hands and you try to move with Pranabindu, and it's like, don't try that Bene Gesserit crap on me. And she like, she moved fast and she flips the blade around in reverse grip and then just kind of comes in slow and tries to nick you right in the neck. That's 1 success versus 4. You need 4 more. You need a lot. Did you want to spend? You don't have any determination currently, right?
Don't. I
Hold
spent
on.
both the points I have.
Only one thing. You said you used momentum for that third die, which means you can re-roll one because that's
correct.
a move for Pranabindu.
That's
Okay.
correct.
I will.
And if you have any benevolence, this would be the time to roll.
I
This
don't
would
have
be the
any.
time to use it. No.
Okay.
That is a success. Okay. What is your focus and move?
I don't have one.
Oh, I see. Okay, but that is a success. That's 2 versus 4. So that means 2 get through, which means you take 4 battle damage. What's your battle score?
4.
That means you're down to 0. So she nicks you right across the neck, and you're like, oh, and you feel your life's blood like oozing between your fingers. Now, when you reach 0, that means you've been defeated. However, there is something called resisting defeat, which is something that is a very real part of combat here. This hasn't been done before, so bear with me here for just a moment. Resisting defeat, where are you? Well, there's a talent that lets you do it twice. You don't have that talent. Results. Resisting defeat. Here we go. Okay. All players have this option. All major players, anyway. Once per scene, if your character would be defeated, you may choose to resist defeat. Resisting defeat prevents that defeat from occurring. Your character remains active in the scene. When you choose to resist defeat, it costs 1 point of momentum, or adds 1 to threat, and causes you to suffer a complication. Non-player characters opposing players spend threat instead. This complication could cause the loss of one of your assets, an advantage the enemy has gained over you, or some hindrance suffered avoiding the defeat. The amount of momentum or threat spent to resist defeat increases by the amount of equal to the quality of the asset used to cause that defeat. It's harder to avoid an injury by a poisoned dagger than a ruffian's blade. Nothing special about this dagger. I'm being very kind here. So you just need to spend 1 momentum to resist defeat.
I've got to spend that momentum.
Okay.
That brings us.
That is
I
the last
think,
point
down
of
to
momentum.
0. Yeah, but sorry guys, I need it. I needed to not
No
die.
need to apologize. No need to apologize. We need the air of the house here, so the Duchess rather. So she nicks you across the neck, and you use all of your prana bindu conditioning to just stay alive and to stem the blood and to have it clot so like it just doesn't spill out, and you see your life flash before you as this happens. And she's just toying with you, and then all of a sudden the door opens and rolls open, and Varis is staring at her, and that's when she turns around and looks, and they both lock eyes, and the knives come out. That's where we're gonna go on break. The time is now 12:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We shall return in 10 minutes. Everyone, don't stick around. and we have returned. When we last left off, there was a tense situation unfolding in the bowels of the palace in Arrakeen. The Duchess was defeated in hand-to-hand combat by her sister Alicia and bleeding out. Luckily, she was able to use her prana bindu conditioning to stave off the bleeding and keep herself alive, but just barely. Unfortunately, now she's in a compromised position as Alicia gently gets from behind as the doors are opening and everybody in the basement is able to see the scene unfolding. She gets behind Daphne and puts a blade to her neck. Now she has a hostage. All right. So for those of you who are in the basement, which is like everybody, I want to say, it's a lively bunch, a lively little party going on in there. How do you react to what's happening? Beginning with let's start with Leo. As you see this happening,
I'm not here. I'm
Leo's
with Kynes.
escorting
sorry,
Kynes
you left.
away.
You took off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
you
taking
took off with
Kynes away.
Kynes, and you're getting in the ornithopter and taking off into. My apologies.
Yeah.
So you're in the air, like you don't know what's going on in the basement currently, but you're out, and you see the other ornithopters are soaring over Arrakeen looking for these assassins. They managed to find one of them thanks to the Tiberii, and they're fanning up to find the others currently. Where are you telling the pilot to take you? The both of you.
I'm gonna kind of ask. I'm gonna ask Kynes. All right. I apologize for that. If you're kind of responsible for putting you in that situation.
Apology accepted. Who were these people that targeted your family?
No
Is it
idea.
another house?
I don't know. I find it quite weird, to be honest with you.
She's pretty battle hard, and it looks like Fremen didn't flinch at all. Like they were obviously very aware of the situation, but they weren't panicking or anything. They were cool as ice. So yeah, they're like, orders, sir. Where should we be flying you to? Your entourage towards.
Where would you like to go, Kynes?
Anywhere but here, I suppose.
Okay.
Take us to the spaceport. You see, she orders the pilot right away, ma'am. Starts veering off in that direction. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in that area, but you can fly there nonetheless. The other Tiberii are fanning out and they're taking positions, defensive positions. The shield is still up, so you're not under constant attack at the moment. Back in the basement area, however, Alicia's got a hostage. Oh, I see you have Varis. Varis, why don't you come show yourself? And immediately, as soon as Varis sees that Daphne's bleeding and that Alicia has a hostage, it's like, no, leave her. Take me instead. Leave her alone. It's me you want, right? And she's like, I'm not gonna fall for that, she says, and she smiles. You see the Dr. Sloane's like, please allow me. If you can take any one of us hostage, do whatever you want, but let us get access to the Duchess and we can work something out. It's over. This place is shielded, and your friends are fleeing this place. Alicia smiles. Oh, Dr. Sloane. All right, we'll make a deal, but I'll only deal with you. It's a tense moment where he looks back behind him to the rest of you. Just to kind of make eye contact. It's like, I'm just going to try to treat the Duchess, all right? And you see one of the Queen's, the Queen's hearts, like they have their weapons drawn. They see Alicia has a shield on, so they have their blades out respectively, and they're shielded as well. And like, Doctor, go carefully. And you see they start shouting over as the Dr. Sloane starts heading out. They start shouting over, and it's like, drop your weapon. It's like, I'm holding your Duchess at the tip of my blade, fools. You listen to me. Dr. Sloane gets over there with his medipack. It's like, all right, I'm just going to try to look her over and apply some tools and stuff like that. And she's like, She just watches and eases her grip on Daphne, but only just enough to slide the blade right into Dr. Sloane. Right there on the clavicle, just like, and he's like, and it's bleeding out. Varis immediately like runs into the room. Is anyone trying to stop him or try to beat him to the punch?
No.
But I
So
would like.
There's something I'd like to do.
Daphne would
Okay.
like to yell, "Everybody stop!"
Mm-hmm. Give
Well,
me a communicate.
so what she wants to say is, "Everybody stop! No more blood."
Mm.
Gonna use
So-
truth for this one.
Sure.
Oh fuck.
That's not gonna cut it, especially in this very loud and chaotic situation. Like you're in the area where the shield generator is, so it's like dynamos going off in the background. It's very loud. Unless you shut it off,
That seems like
so
a
you're
bad
yelling
idea.
as best as you can.
So,
And it's like, nope, that ain't happening. Elois.
So I have some questions first. I was about to send a side message, but we're here now. The Tibera are kind of generally armed, right? Like Mala pistols.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to take Tiberius's Amira's Mala pistol.
Okay, you done and done. You
Cool.
arm yourself. Get ready. Conquee.
So I was gonna say, the moment that she went and took the blade away from Daphne's knife is when I would want to have started to do this,
Oh,
I
go
know.
ahead. Sorry.
of using my voice.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna make Alicia make her roll. Let's see here. Discipline.
I will give you all 3 threat for 3 successes.
I will use all 3 threat.
I am
let's
blowing
see.
my determination because I'm going to use duty. So what must be done must be done. So that makes it 5. And then I'm going to have to roll communicate.
He's gonna roll 4 dice. No specialties. 3 successes. I'm gonna use malevolence.
Oh shit.
I have some of it, and I'm gonna re-roll that.
7 total successes for me.
Lord, I don't think I can. Even if I were to roll a 1 on each one, I don't think I can survive. But let's try at least 1. That is a negative. That is
Not
not
happening.
happening.
Oh, yeah.
So that's to bring me down. I'll re-roll that and leave myself at 1 malevolence. I rolled terrible by principle. That is a success. So I got 2, 3, 4 out of 7. Good lord. I can spend determination, and you know I can, for 3 threat, which I will do, which will get her to
Oh, I get my determination back.
nice. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That reroll,
Successes.
Devin. Oh my god.
No, that's not a reroll.
Oh.
That was my roll for if I get to re-get my determination.
Oh, okay.
I had to roll under 7.
Beautiful, beautiful. We love to see it.
You have to meet her. She set the difficulty that you have to meet her exceed. So even if she got to 7, she'd need 8 for you to fail. So she fails at that one, and she's just like, "What do you do?"
Do no harm.
She's not a doctor, dude.
But it still holds to anybody.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Daphne is free of any further harm, but Dr. Sloan is fucked.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't expect Dr. Sloan to retroactively not get his throat slit, but
Because if you remember, Dr. Sloan was part of House Carroll, and House Carroll were the people who tortured her with the fucking
No.
Ixia probe. So
I was fully
like,
doing this for
die.
Daphne. I was
Okay.
only blowing all that for Daphne.
You see, she's like drops Daphne to the ground, and you have a moment to react, Daphne, before it goes to Amira. As she just like tosses you to the ground, you see Dr. Sloan like
Ah,
the ground dead.
oh no. So Daphne is just going to say, try again. The cycle has to end now. Today.
Oh, it will. It will, she says. And looks at Varis like, come on, try me. He of course like immediately moves in. Oh, sorry, there was something more.
Can I get one more line off?
Sure.
Just addressing the room at large. I'm already pregnant.
Alarm goes up with everybody. She does look at you with this pitying look, but it's no less malevolent than before. Amira, is there anything Amira does in response to all this?
We never decided who was controlling her still.
I'm not familiar with her talents, and you are, though.
Fair enough. So I think she's probably waiting for Eloise's orders now. Given
waiting to spring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll say she holds her place for a moment, and then when the time comes, when you give her the signal to act, she'll act. So she's basically waiting on you. Okay. Varis steps forward to fight and points his blade at Alicia and says, I invoke Canley right now. House of Cardis versus House Cheshire. You have to accept. And Alicia laughs in his face. I think it's amusing that you think I'm part of House Cheshire. She basically tells him to fuck off. Like she's like, I'm not playing by your silly rules. Prince Gregos of Cardis. She says, like, oh yes, that's right. I'm sorry, you can't hear me. And she like turns off the shield and she's like, that's Gregos of Cardis right there. You shouldn't be training your weapons at me. You should be training your weapons at him. His family caused the deaths of Federico and Beatrice Cheshire. Tell him about your little plastic surgery adventures and murdering bedridden princes in their castles. Please indulge us. And you see everybody's like tensing up. Do you respond in any way, Elois, to this?
Oh, is it my turn?
Well, he can get a turn. He's going to say something. He's going to he realizes he's caught between a rock and a hard place. So he's going to say something now, but you can
Eloise is going to be very quiet.
That's him. Fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, Eloise is very quiet.
You see, he's like, put something on here. He's like, it's true that my name is Gregos of Cardis. After my family was destroyed on Cyberwalk, my brother Milos and I planned our vengeance against your house, he says, and he looks at Daphne when he says that. He sought to pit you against yourselves and your allies. I negotiated with the exiles and renegade guild navigators while he stole the spice necessary to fund our operation here on Arrakis. I was just to infiltrate the house in whatever fashion I could and then strike at the right time. I needed a way in. So I looked at all the other houses on Arrakis and found a perfect cover to go by. Varis Zavan, a wealthy noble who had been in a coma for years after a terrible accident. After relieving him of his pain, his parents, and his loyal retainer, Nuri Randama, I paid an exorbitant amount of Solaris to change my face to his. But no amount of planning could prepare me for what ultimately made me fail. Daphne Cheshire. Our family employed a face dancer who was a jongleur, a legendary actors and storytellers of the highest order. He took on guises for entertainment and taught us how we could impersonate others as well. He told us stories about others of his kind who had become lost in their own stories and parts that they played out. Imagine taking someone else's identity and getting so enraptured in it that you forgot who you were. You became this other person instead, as if they were who you always were to begin with. Imagine having to stop being who you are and go back to being who you were after finally finding happiness, he says. At first, I thought my vengeance would manifest with me breaking your heart, he says, looking at Daphne. When I revealed that our children would bear the face of our greatest enemy, of your greatest enemy. But such a plan could never be. For the night we spent together in Sahai changed me, much like this Fremen ritual I suspect changed you. All of my plans and all of my vengeance disappeared. My fate was sealed with a kiss. The next morning, I read the letter you keep with you, the one from your mother, Adeline. In it, I read passages that adequately reflected my feelings for you now. And he by memory, he recites verbatim, he seared into his memory. Through your courage and quick action, you saved my life. Regretfully, I will not see the day that Daphne of the Great House of Cheshire looks out from her balcony to see an Imperium that both celebrates her mercy and fears her wrath. If you're reading this, it means that I have not lived up to my promise of always being by your side. You will inevitably feel anger towards me for this. This is not unreasonable or unexpected. It is natural. It is human. Allow yourself these feelings and remain anchored in your humanity. I have committed many sins in my time and made countless mistakes. Your wisdom, kindness, and grace have no equal amongst others in the Landsraad, and it is why you are exceptional. Once the others discover these incredible traits of yours, they too will realize this and likely look to you for guidance and leadership. Don't deprive them of your talents, despite the fact that many of them do not and will not ever deserve you. You saved my life, Daphne. With you, I felt alive and happy for the first time. Your mother's letter killed the person I was, and your love and bravery has brought me back as someone who loves and admires you deeply. I don't deserve you. I've killed many in the name of a dead house, in the name of my brother, our parents, our people, and our world. I have murdered those who could not defend themselves for vengeance. I am not that person anymore. Gregos of Cardis died in a cave on Arrakeen, alone and with his vengeance unfulfilled. It doesn't matter what you refer to me on, to me as from now on. I don't want to live in any reality that doesn't have you in it. And Alicia's like, I'm fine with relieving you of your life right now. Come, coward. Face my blade.
Please, stop. I don't want anyone in this room to die. And she will look to Eloise. And says, Eloise, I'm begging you.
I sense a discipline test coming. You're good at that, right?
I'm pretty good at it.
The smile tells me she's not going to listen.
So, Eloise, the last remaining member of the house that took the life of your mother, or sorry, your father and one of your sisters, is standing in the room there, right there, within striking distance. You have a shield on. He also happened to be the potential, duke of this house under Daphne, the father of her children. What will you do?
Well, I know what my motivation has always been since day one of this character. So she's going to look at Tiberius. We're killing him, and point the Maul pistol and fire.
The Maul pistol will not do anything to him because he's shielded. Right.
Is Alicia shielded?
So
yes.
Noted. Daphne will scream when she sees that. Please, Eloise, just talk to me. 5 minutes. Please.
Aaron, in your mind, has Ellis already made up her mind, or do you see her as being able to be convinced by her niece and her words? Now that you can hear clearly.
I think she does love her family. So she it's gonna take a lot. I'll put it that way. It's a very high bar. She spent 12 years, literally 12 years waiting for this moment.
Okay. You can decide, or you can set a difficulty and roll like a d6 and add 2 to it, and that'll be the difficulty that Daphne has to roll on her communication.
I think she'll lower the pistol for a moment and put like her hand on Amira and be like, convince me why I should let the both murderers of my family live.
Did you want to portray Amira for that, to respond to that, Ambrose, or should I?
I feel a little weird doing that.
No worries. You're asking for Amira to help you, and she's like, he didn't rob me of anything. He robbed you of.
Oh, sorry. That was to Daphne, not to Amira.
Oh, what did?
My mistake.
Okay.
She's like halting Amira, like don't go murder time right yet, and then looking at Daphne and saying, "Convince me why I should let both murderers of my entire family live."
Because I'll let Amira live. She murdered my parent. And I have every right to want the same vengeance on her that you want right now. And for the sake of peace, for the sake of no one else dying, she can go wherever she wants. I'll let my wish for vengeance go if you can find it to do the same. Because what happens 20 years from now when my children ask why they didn't grow up with a father, and I tell them, and they decide they want vengeance? Either they'll kill you, or Amira will kill them.
Varis is shaking with anger and welling with tears as he's just like, I want to strangle this woman, but I want no more blood.
Alicia's
Elo's response to that.
Alicia's going back to Jabberwock. We're going to turn her over to the Sizzle Rod. Justice will be done. But justice isn't vengeance, and vengeance isn't justice. Besides, you already got your vengeance. You heard what he said. Gregos is dead.
For family, I'll do this. But I want him to have the same trial Alicia had.
That's fair.
You see, Varys nods and looks to Daphne for guidance, and the Alicia is just like, has this look of disgust on her face, like, I can't believe you people. And it dawns, anybody here who can make a discipline or understand roll, difficulty 2 or higher.
Social awareness apply or Canley?
Yes.
Or espionage by control.
No, not espionage. This would be like a psychological thing.
Would data analysis work?
No, not in this
Okay.
particular case. 3 successes. You got it, Daphne, and actually that earns you a point of momentum. Wow.
Oh boy.
That's only 2 for me, so I got it just on the money.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right. So yeah, those of you who made the check, you realize that Alicia didn't come here to like kill Daphne and then just kind of like skip and hop away. She came here to die. And because she's trapped. She doesn't know where else to go. She doesn't belong to House Cheshire. She doesn't belong to House Carroll. She doesn't belong to anyone or any place. And she only had the singular purpose of, plunging a blade into someone's heart. Specifically, it seems that she told you as much, Daphne, that she was here to kill Gregos, Varis, in this case, since Gregos is no more. But she couldn't pass you up. That was a lie. She figured she came here to do one last job or have an excuse to basically force your hand or somebody's hand to take her out of the picture. How do any of you who made the roll react to that? If at all.
I think Daphne's attention, so even though Daphne sort of made the check, she's still focused on Eloise Varis and not dying and not losing her pregnancy.
Yeah.
That she just, this is low priority as long as Alicia isn't actively attacking anyone right now.
Sure. You see, based on what your observations of her, you know that she's not the type of person, like she's just gone so far at this point that you're not even as hopeful as you are. You're not sure that she can be reformed. You're not sure that she can be reasoned with on a normal level, given what she's gone through.
I mean, that's why we're handing her back to the Cicelerod and be like,
right,
you do it.
You deal with her. Yeah, you deal with her, right? And she's like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic, she says, looking at Varis. Are you sure you don't have it in you for one last duel, Varis? Because I'll take you up on your canly here and now. And you see he kind of like grits his teeth.
She's not worth it.
You're right, my love. She's not. He sheathes his blades, turns off his shield, and the queen's guard runs in and points their weapons at Alicia. You know, like we're gonna get you one way or the other. And she's just like, okay. She drops her blade. I surrender. Take me in. And you see they swarm over her, they grab her, and they put her in like restraints and stuff like that. All right, come on, let's go. How are the rest of you react? You see, as soon as they grab a hold of Alicia, Varys darts over to Daphne and grabs Dr. Sloane's gear and immediately starts getting to work on her wound to making sure that she's okay. And he's just completely inconsolable, like trying to working on you, like stay still, let me look at this. He's a duelist, so he's familiar with these sort of wounds and stuff. Alicia is being dragged away, and she just yells on top of her lungs, echoing throughout the halls, remember Janice, Daphne, remember what she did. Remember what our house is responsible for. That is your legacy. They drag her upstairs.
Daphne's just like, bitch, I felt 20 generations of that yesterday.
I already knew, yeah.
Eloise is going to flip her bala pistol around that she acquired, and she'd like to pistol whip Varys now that his shield's down.
Oh shit! Okay. So he's working on Daphne, and you're like, hey, what? Bam! You just catch him right by surprise, completely by surprise, right across the face. Like, ugh! It doesn't knock him out, but it leads like this scar, yet another scar across his.
Yeah,
face.
she wanted to leave a little something.
Okay, yeah.
That's
I fucking hate you and your family.
that's for my sister and my father, and then she'll drop the pistol and walk away.
Yeah. Amira grabs onto you and puts a comforting arm around your shoulder. You know, like not in a I'm so proud of you, you restrained yourself way, because she would have totally murdered his ass and left. But you know, she's like, you're a better person than I am, and I, you know, I've always known that, but this just set it into plascrete for me. And you both walk out of the basement together. Conquee.
Okay. Seeing that Daphne is being properly taken care of by Varis,
Mhm.
I'm going to follow Alicia and make sure that she doesn't have some way out. Like, make sure that she remains detained and that there is, as Daphne asks, she's going to get to the Sissel Rod.
Yeah. They immediately, like, Daphne gave the orders, so you go with, and you see the Queen's Heart's like, we have this. We're gonna put her in an ornithopter. She's restrained. We're gonna take her to the spaceport, and on the first liner back to Jabberwock, she's gonna see the Sissel Red.
I'll stick it out until she's actually getting on the Hayliner.
Okay. So you walk them over to the you go with them to the spaceport and get on board and she looks defeated, like she's just, you know, she's got this look on her face. They sit her down and she just shoots you a look as you're part of the detachment, you know, assigned to the ornithopter ride to the spaceport before she gets in the later and goes up to the Hayliner. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? Which come to gloat.
As your sister said, she's changed. She doesn't want you to die of vengeance or of some petty nature. That's it.
Of course not. Saintly Daphne.
You wouldn't have said that if you saw her yesterday.
Please. She abandoned me just like our mother did.
Wow.
And you abandoned your own family.
Is that what you call a
But
family?
she came back.
There? That chaotic mess? That's what you call a family? That's what passes as a family here? Please.
I wouldn't have known family if not for them.
Who the hell even are you? I keep forgetting you're Conquee now, so she's like, who the hell are you? Like, I don't know you from anything.
I just lean in real close and say, the shadow that's always been there.
The what? You see, like, they're like, keep your distance from the prisoner, please. As they're circling the Arrakeen spaceport, you see, like, they're like, all right, we're coming in for a landing. Get ready.
Good job, guys. Make sure you keep her in those restraints.
Will do. You see, like, they stand her up and they get her right in front of the door. The thing is, this is a Cheshire ornithopter, so Alicia knows all the tricks, all the funny little things on the ornithopter. You know, kind of like how you guys work together to get that safe door open for the shield generator room. She hits the release on the door and jumps out.
Any time to react?
I mean, she jumps out, but no parachute. And the team is like, oh shit. And like, they immediately like fly down to where she's at. There's no time to react to that.
Okay.
We're just gonna say. So how do you convey this news to Daphne? Or do you just tell the others or use the voice or whatever to swear to them silence? Like, don't tell Daphne this happened, please. I don't know how you want to go about that.
I mean, at some point, Daphne's going to ask the Sissel Rod about, hey, what's going on?
It's gonna be spoken.
Okay.
One moment.
Go ahead and have that conversation now.
So Conquee will come up to Daphne as she's, I'm presuming, now in a med bay.
Mm-hmm.
Duchess, I'm here to disappoint you.
Who else did she kill?
She only ended herself.
All right. Have her body delivered to Jabberwock. This is what I want to know. Don't bury her on Cheshire land.
Hmm.
She will still be delivered to the Sissel Rod. She will never see Jabberwock again.
Archibald,
But
you're in the area. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just there to say it's over finally.
It's finally over. Archibald, you and Dr. Kynes were in the spaceport around the time that this happened. Like, you had landed, and there were, guild members came up to figure out who you guys were to get Dr. Kynes in for a transfer somewhere else on the planet. And then you saw there's some big commotion happening, and Cheshire Thopter came down, and I think you see Conquee among them, like this group of soldiers that came out, and somebody fell out of a ornithopter or something. You don't know what happened. Some sort of an accident.
Okay.
How does Archie respond?
Obviously, I would first see to Kynes and that she was well acquainted for on her journey back to the Empire, correct? Or is she on Arrakis?
Is who on Arrakis?
Kynes. Like, she's going to the spaceport. She's going back to the Empire, right?
She doesn't seem to be needing a Hayliner ride to Kitane or anything like that. She was always on Arrakis, it turns out. So she's just going to hop on an ornithopter in a different direction since you're probably needed back at the palace, is what she figures. So she's like, just leave me off at the spaceport and I'll take my own ride out of here.
Correct. Yeah, I would kind of tend to her, make sure she has everything she needs, and then I'm going to, I guess, investigate and see what happened.
You come upon this group of ornithopter pilots and soldiers of the Queen's Hearts, and there's a body that they're standing around, and it's Alicia. How does Archibald respond to that?
So there's soldiers around us, correct?
Correct.
Can I do an observe roll? See
Sure.
if she survived it at all?
Yeah. Not necessary, really, but give me an observation check nonetheless.
Okay. We're going to do power. We got one momentum. I'll use it. What the hell?
Sure.
Since we're almost done, I'll probably use my inspiration point since we get one per. Why not?
Okay.
I gotta focus first. Yes. 2 successes plus my inspiration point.
Perfect. This wasn't like something expertly hid or anything like that. Conquee and everybody left the ornithopter to observe the body. You come around and you start looking around the place like, huh. And you notice that there's something. Conquee, go ahead and make a discipline observation roll as well.
Okay.
You were there in the craft after all.
Well,
You'll
didn't she go
notice this
back
around
to
the same
palace?
time. Not immediately after what happened. No, she radioed into the palace, but that's about it.
Okay, gotcha.
Holy.
3
Okay.
successes.
You both noticed this around the same time. The seat where she was sitting inside of the ornithopter. There's something in her seat that wasn't there before.
Well. I would I'll lift up the
I
seat.
will grab it before Archibald does.
No.
Move rolls! Competitive move rolls. Go!
You're probably gonna win.
You both see something and you're like, no, hold on. I gotta get this.
Like, do you
Having
guys not trust me that
flashbacks.
much?
Also, does that count for nimble for?
Yes. Nimble or swift. I think
Okay,
would do
so
it.
that'd give me 2.
Okay, so before we do
Difference.
this roll, do I at least
Mhm.
get to see what it is?
It looks like a piece of jewelry and a piece of paper, like a radiolian crystal sheet.
Having flashbacks to Black Friday when I actually used to go.
My move sucks. I don't know about
Okay.
this.
What's that like?
Like, really bad. Oh, fuck. This was the wrong freaking roll to use my determination point. God damn it.
I mean, you
All
can,
right, well-
you can, but
No, he used it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
used
I
it
see.
earlier.
okay, that's fine. So
Um,
you both see it at the same time, and Conquee is just like, whoosh, like the wind.
Yeah. But I would definitely see it and see what it is, correct?
I'll let one of each of you choose the one thing that you want to grab. Conquee gets first dibs, though.
Okay.
I'm grabbing the Julian sheet.
Okay.
What was the other thing?
Jewelry.
Necklace.
Jeweled. You grab the jewel after Conquee snatches up the Rejuvenating crystal sheet, Archibald. It's a trinket that Adeline used to have. It was called a spirit fire. If you recall, there were 2 of them. The other thing that you find, Conquee, is a little note that says, "Mission accomplished, Uncle." Signed, Alicia.
Fuck.
Oh,
Fuck.
yeah, baby.
How does Conquee react to this?
Conquee just immediately puts it into the folds of one of her pockets
Mm-hmm.
and simply
miss
looks
something?
up at Archibald and says, "This is a note for Daphne."
You can go ahead and roll discipline, and you can roll communication, Conquee.
All right.
Bald-faced lie that okay.
The bold-faced lie
It's
that
not-
it is, and I
It's
have
not a lie.
focused.
Well, okay, it is a lie, but
It is a lie. That's the reason why I said it, because it's.
fair enough.
Can I use communicate with this? Because I got deceit.
And I am also
Focus.
going to use my determination point again to make that a grand total. Oh, you can't see it because I have it on Whisper, but everyone else should know that was a 3 base.
3. Yeah, you got 3 successes.
Plus
You-
2
I will-
more from determination.
I'll give you this, Archibald. You can spot if you're a good deceitful liar, you can also spot another deceitful liar. So I'll let you use your focus and communication for deceit, but I will only allow you to use it in combination with your discipline. So you can spot a liar because you are a pretty good liar yourself.
I get to keep my determination again.
I will get revenge.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
What you got?
I can
For your
I can
hire.
do power, which is I will have what is owed to me.
Well, it was addressed to you, so go ahead and roll it. In a matter of speaking.
So that last roll, and I'm pretty sure this goes through any roll. It says when you select the it says to fight someone is to know whatever, I can't remember.
That's for
You're
battle.
expert in studying your foes in conflict, learn how they think, gleaning secrets from them based on how they move, attack, defend, blah, 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 blah. I can choose a skill and I can gain 2 momentum points, which you may use to obtain information and then create a trait that represents some knowledge or insight you gain from your opponent. So I'm going to use that because it says I had to use another
Okay.
The last roll I did,
requires
required.
Yeah, if it requires a momentum, you currently do not have any. You can pay me a threat, however, and I'll be happy to give you some.
No, it says you gain 2 momentum from that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 2 momentum points, which you may use to obtain information, basically.
Okay. Well, how would you like to spend those 2 momentum points? You get to ask me a question, basically, and I have to answer truthfully.
And it can be any question, correct?
Correct.
What you got from that?
Regarding...
Is my name on that note?
The way that she looked at it and then looked at you and then said, "This is for Daphne." It absolutely is about you.
Okay.
What's your other question?
Whew. This is... I'm in deep shit. Okay, either way. Not the point. So...
Sort of.
So I'm actually going to make a asset.
Oh, you're gonna pay me some threat.
Well, it says I
Okay.
can make an asset, or is that just how we're... Okay.
You need
It says
momentum.
create a trait that represents some knowledge or insight.
Mm-hmm. I'll take some threat from you, sure. 2 threat. What is it you're making? As far as traits.
I'm going to say that, and it has to, in terms of traits, the pilot has a heart attack and crashes.
No, that's not how that works. So when you create a trait, you like think of back at the palace. It was very chaotic. So I had spent some threat to create a trait for that scene, and that was chaotic. So anything that was resembling order, like I'm going to try to instill order in this, that's one more difficult. It's made more difficult because of that trait. Traits allow you to make things easier or harder for you to achieve in terms of roles. So if you wanted to create a trait, you can say suspicious and apply that trait towards Conquee here, and maybe Archibald says something to the pilots or the gathered queen's hearts and says, there's something. This woman here got something from the ornithopter, and I don't believe her when she said that it was something intended for the Duchess. I believe it belongs to me. You can create that sense of suspicion around her, and it would, if she tries to say no, this is absolutely something for the Duchess, it would make it one difficulty higher for her to convince them. Unless you just use the voice and says "fuck off."
I was thinking it too.
That's
Well-
the thing with Bene Gesserit, man. You're dealing with a Reverend Mother here.
Okay, I got a better one, I think. So I'm
Mhm.
going to say that the writing isn't completely clear. Like it's smudged from sweat, whatever that is basically, yeah, it may look like that, but on the other hand,
Oh.
it could be a little skewed.
Okay, so yeah, you're instilling the trait onto the asset or the the item in this particular case, saying, yeah, you have the thing, but it's hard to read because it was crumpled up in her suit and
Correct.
she left it there, so like there's sweat and sand all over it, whatever. Okay, sure, that's fine. I'll allow that. That's cool. All right, so I make off with 2 threat. Fantastic. And you kind of like both, I would imagine, just sort of like staring at each other like, okay. Is there anything that you do as part of creating that trait for the item that you do? Like, do you say something to the pilots, or do you say something to Conquee here before you depart?
I guess I would say I would ask, so what does the note say? Just out of curiosity.
It is Alicia's last statement to Daphne, with which I start walking out.
Yeah, you're like, bye. Get back in the Ornithopter. Everybody starts heading back to the palace. Archibald, you follow suit, I imagine? Or are you going somewhere else? You are at the spaceport, after all. I don't know how you want to react to this.
Correct. I am at the spaceport.
I imagine the both of you
Now,
getting back to the
very,
palace,
very
and there's like it's
sus.
like a race to get to Daphne first. Let me explain. Hold on a second.
No, it won't be a race.
God, I almost died today. Don't put this on me now.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
it's not.
tomorrow. There's still time.
It's not actually going to go to you first.
Probably gonna go towards the okay. All right.
Oh boy.
I am right now right now is a very good time to figure out how to get some damn spice.
Okay. And what does that look like for Archibald?
Probably going to Sahaya Tabir? Or, yeah?
Sahaya Tabir. Who's that?
That's where Kyra and the others were.
That's Zoshir's siege, and he's the one who's gonna say when it's go time.
Yeah, are you gonna head over to see the Fremen about getting this raid started?
I mean, because Ambrose hasn't gotten to play Zoshir, so you should also go there for that reason.
I am playing
I was getting there. I was getting there.
Whackabot and
Yeah,
enjoying all of you.
I was just I'm waiting for Archibald to decide what he wants to do, because the next scene I had in mind was the Council of Naibs. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. There's nothing I can do without spice. So yeah, I guess I would go to where I needed to go. So
which is the siege or to the
Correct.
palace?
that's the only way I'm getting spice.
The spice. Okay, so you're like, hey, rando Cheshire soldier, fly me to that siege. You don't know where it is. Sure. You would need the what's his name, the Tiberii, to help guide you to the siege. They know the way. Do you radio for them to hop in a thopter and fly you out there?
I guess. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
They're the only ones that know.
I'm gonna roll a die to see which one you get.
Oof.
1 in 10, you get Hurdy. 11 to 20, you get the other one, Nelia. You get Nelia.
Oh,
Bad cop.
God, really?
Bad cop again.
Jesus.
Like, what the hell do you want? You're like, oh, I want to go to Sahara Beer. And it's like, what for? The Razia. Okay, fine. Get in. She's like, piloting you over there begrudgingly. Strap in. I had to fight a dwarf to get over here without any additional passengers. Take off into the air. Meanwhile, back in Sihaya several of the Naibs have come from different places to meet with you here, Zoshir. However, before they arrive, you have a very important decision to make. Do you spare the Adwali and gain the ire of the tribe, or do you spill their water out into the sand?
Oh gosh.
That
So
I forgot, didn't you?
nah. Actually, Zoshir is going to first pull the siege into a meeting before the Naib, or before
Okay.
the meeting with the other Naibs.
Myrma is present for the first time in like a week, I want to say. She's okay. She's not all there. She's just kind of like, she's not herself. She's shaking, and she's always looking down and almost never makes eye contact. Now she's in her own place. Merlot and his crew arrive, and they sit down across from you. You wanted to see us, babe?
We have a situation.
Indeed we do.
These Idwali very much deserve to have their water spilled on the ground. However, I had a vision. A vision that the Idwali, with all their viciousness, their murderous intent, their willingness to practice taboo, can assist in the Razia.
Merlot is like, I trust you and your visions, of course. You are the Mahdi, but this will not play well with the other Naibs. Or the rest of the tribe, for that matter. They are cast out. They have to be killed. It is the way. And you see Myrma starts rocking back and forth. She just her eyes are cast upon the table, round table you sit around. She's like, the Adwali can be key to securing Arrakeen for the Yishuan Bedouin. However, they will also stoke the fires of rebellion and threaten your rule.
What have you seen, Myrma?
I've seen too much. I've seen many things.
I apologize. Regarding the Idwali.
There are several among them that would challenge you, not now, but later, for position as Naib of Naibs. You must tread carefully with them.
Can they be bribed or convinced?
No. But cast out are zealous in their pursuit. of our complete eradication of the tribes. Their vengeance is as old as the Fremen are on Arrakis.
So Sheer sits back a little bit, and this look of contemplation crosses his face. How did it begin?
It began with dissent in the marketplaces, in the temples that they erect in your name, or on the palace in Arrakeen, all the villages and towns soon in the Imperial Basin. They are led by someone I cannot see, someone who will lead the Adwali to denounce your rule on Arrakis. They will burn your banners, and they will curse the House of Cheshire and call for their blood.
I suppose not all visions can be trusted, can they?
All possibilities, Zashir.
Is there a possibility in which these things don't happen?
Of course. But I quake to think about where they lead. Or things that I've seen. If the cast out are successful, or even if they're not in deposing you, they lead to places where I cannot go. I don't dare look upon them. There are some things that I just too overwhelming to bear.
I understand.
I've seen it. And it watches us all. It knows that we're here now talking about it. I cannot explain it to you with words. It is an impossible abomination to behold. And if I tell you more, it may very well endanger your life and the lives of all who exist in your presence. You see, Merlot is just kind of like, is she for real? Are you okay? Do you need some water? She's kind of rocking back and forth, like, obviously disturbed by what she saw, the things that Kyra witnessed over time. This abomination that looms large in the future. That threatens not just Arrakis, but all of the Imperium, it seems. How do you respond?
Sorry to ask you more things, Myrma. I deeply apologize, but to take down the Diwali, we take down this thing.
There is no defeating this thing. All roads lead to it. It is inevitable. In fact, without it, humanity ends.
Please get Myrma some water.
See, one of the face dancers nods, leaves the room, fetches a pitcher of water, and just like, here, drink. Her hands are just quaking the whole time. You see Merlot moves over to you, and as she's, busy drinking and stuff, and it's like, she cannot be Sayadina for much longer. You understand?
What do you mean?
She's not well. She's not well. The Fremen, you know that when the Fremen see this sort of thing, they will act to remove it from the tribe. They do the same with anyone who's stricken blind. They are cast out to walk the sands of Arrakis, a burden of their tribe, destined for death. They will do the same for her. These are their ways. These are your ways. You know them. You know what they will do.
I do. I have a place for her in mind.
Do you now?
And I know Poseidina, if she's willing.
And he kind of picks up on what you're putting down. It's like, you're going to need to talk to the Naibs and convince them. Otherwise, this will be too much to ask. We know that you are destined to lead us, but the rest of the Naibs will need convincing. We will need to be successful at the Razia, and you will need to lead them into battle to success. Once you do that, we may be able to achieve some of the things that you want. But to ask this of them now, I'd advise against it.
Very well.
Start slow. Tell them of your proposal to marry this Outframe, and how House Cheshire could aid the Fremen. What they've done, what they've accomplished for us, for your people. Start with that first. After the Razia, then perhaps we can return to the table, and they can perhaps entertain these other notions of yours. Once we have them convinced that who we know you are, then we can proceed with the next phase of the plan.
I still don't know that I am who you think I am.
Kyra knew, and we trusted her without question. So we trust you and what you do. Whether you realize it or not, you are forging a path for our people into the future and for all humanity.
No pressure.
No, not at all. You see, one of the servants comes in. It's like, the first of the Naibs have arrived. Stilgora is among them. It's like, when will you convene the council, Cheshire?
Shortly.
Your decision on the Dwali.
Yes. One can't squeeze water from dry sand. It seems as though these Idwali I cannot save for now.
You would spare.
So, interrogate them, and then
we have. This is like they kind of shrug. It's like there's no interrogating them. They're zealots. They want to spill our water on the ground. They were stealing it.
Very well. Spill theirs.
Oh shit. Okay, so that has a direct consequence. Had you spared them, you would have gained 3 units for the Razia. Because you spilled their blood on the sand, you have robbed yourself of that advantage. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's cool. The council convenes. Stilgar greets you and gives you the warrior's clasp. He brings Duncan Idaho with him, and that girl, Chani, catches your eye as she walks in. She stands in the background as the council convenes. I understand, one of the Naib says when he stands up, that you are leading Sihaya Tabir, that Zoshir called out Kyra and took her water and her place as the Naib of the Siege. But we understand that you are not from this Siege, Zoshir, one of them asks. One of them says, why should we follow you into battle then? Cat.
Sorry.
No worries.
Why should you follow me into battle? You know, Why shouldn't you? Honestly, I'm capable, and I have been off of Arrakis. I have seen this place from the stars. I've seen the larger picture of it.
I hardly see how that qualifies you. I know that you're a skilled fighter, that much is known. But to lead us in a Razi against the Harkonnens as they're leaving? It seems wasteful. Let's see, Stilgar stands up. This man here has allies with the Outfrain House Cheshire. I'll remind you that they saved my life from the Harkonnens at peril to their leader, to their Naib, and she's a Sayadina. But also, Zashir's helped secure the spice bribe that was taken from us. You cannot convince me of not having someone else who's more worthy to lead us to victory. I nominate Zashir here and now to lead this council and lead our tribes to victory. He sits back down. Nawan, of course, stands up after him. It's like, I too nominate Zashir to lead us. Is of Hagaharg, although not originally. But that doesn't matter. He is Fremen born, and he belongs to us, and we to him. And I believe he will lead us to victory against them. It is to our understanding that the Harkonnens have been stockpiling melange at one particular facility that belonged to the Emperor himself, and have been doing so for decades. We're talking about billions of Solaris. We stand to lose more than we stand to gain if we allow them to leave with it, which is happening now. We need to move on this immediately. She sits back down. You get some dissent from some of the other naibs. You could try to convince them. I need at least a difficulty 2, because everybody here hates the fucking Harkonnens, so they're not going to fight too hard, killing some of them. But give me a difficulty 2 communications roll. See if you're able to convince some of them to support you in this endeavor. And, because you have no momentum currently, you can pay me in thread as much as you'd like.
I still have a determination point. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Very good. What are you pairing your communication skill with? What drive? Is this justice? Is this faith? Taking it on faith that you are to be the Mahdi, as Kyra prophesized?
Because he still doesn't quite believe that.
Right. But taking Harkonnen's water and keeping the spice that belonged to you and your people on this planet could be conceived as power or justice, maybe?
I was looking at my duty because I have... The statement is...
This is one of the rare times that I would say no. Because
okay.
Because attacking the Harkonnens actually endangers your siege and the other Fremen.
Good point. Thank you. You know what?
Mention you'll get a fleet of ornithopters as a wedding gift.
Oh yeah, you haven't brought up the wedding thing yet, so you can drop that bomb on him whenever you want.
I'm gonna wait one thing at a time.
Sure.
Let's see. I was looking at my truth statement, and it says the greatest truth is destiny. How else can I test out that destiny by leading this Razia,
True.
Okay, Mahdi.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Haha! Does it communicate, which is a 5? And that Eric giggle is terrifying. Oh no.
Oh God. That was
Oh,
Doom.
fuck.
Doom.
That's not
Well,
good.
did you want to spend that determination point?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you turn one of those into a 1, and you get 2 successes right off the bat. And okay, and what do you say in response to their concerns? Like, oh, this puts us at risk. Why are we expending resources to fight the Harkonnens now when they're leaving?
Oh.
Like,
Betty gave us a benevolence an hour ago. Did anyone spend that?
That was for
That was
you.
for
I
you.
don't think so.
I didn't spend it. I didn't know I had it.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it if you want to use the benevolence
Yeah.
now to reroll if you choose.
Okay.
Get some
Yeah,
extra
let's-
Tell
momentum.
me, I could use that.
You gotta follow the feed.
Roll 11 or less on a d20, and you can conceivably get some momentum out of this. A 1! So that nets you 4. That nets you 4. So you actually get 2 momentum back from that. And because momentum is awesome, you can spend some of that momentum immediately if you wanted to ask me a question that I have to answer truthfully to, or you can use those 2 momentum to create a trait, like I'm trustworthy or something like that, so that any further communications or dealings with the naives is easier for you, perhaps, if you wanted to do so.
I'm gonna go for the first one, ask you a question.
Sure. What do you want to know?
What would most convince all these naives at this moment to do this thing?
Ooh, that's tough. To convince them to allow you to lead their forces against the Harkonnen. If spice was not a major factor, you'd have to play on the superstition. You'd have to prey on their religion, basically saying that, like, this happened for a reason. You would have to draw your blade and explain to them that this was a gift from Shai-Hulud, and basically play up this aura, this air that's around you currently, that you're the one that's supposed to lead us. Yeah, you have to lean into it.
Shit.
And feel like a bucket of slime is poured over you as you do it.
I don't know if that's really Zoshir or Ambrose who's like,
You'd have to do something you're very uncomfortable with in order to, like, rally them behind you. Like, look, I saw it in a vision. I had a vision in the last Tau ritual we had. Shai-Hulud chose me. Look, this is the fabled, blade that I had found when I was young, when the Dwali attacked. I just used it to spill their blood out on the sands of outside of our siege.
Oh,
Did you want to do that? You don't have to, of course.
thank you, Kat, for the emotional support.
I know you're going through something right now. I'm here for you.
All right. This is gonna be a little crazy, but I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Okay. You pull out your blade and you tell them that the night that your siege was wiped out by the Dwali, that Shai-Hulud gifted this upon you, and as such, the old. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I've got this.
Oh, you got this. All right. Let's hear it.
This Chris knife. Did you see in my hand? I was gifted it by Shai-Hulud himself. Themself. Herself. I was a child My parents were murdered by the Idwali. And I survived with a raw tooth of Shai Hulud that came up from the sand. And at the expense of revealing a bit too much, the last tower ritual, I had a vision. My parents, my murdered parents, came to me and suggested that we work with the Idwali to take down the Harkonnen. Now, for the sake of the siege, I had the most recent raiders' water spilled upon the sands to keep my siege safe and to respect the opinions that our various sieges hold on the Idwali. Now, I don't know if you'll believe me or not. However, I cannot deny what the Great One has revealed to me. I am both Fremen and not of Arrakis.
They all look at each other like, what? What do you say?
The title bestowed on me by the previous Naib Sayadina that I challenged was Mahdi.
Everybody's eyes go, what? And like a couple of people stand up like, how dare you? And Stilgar sees what's happening. He reads the room and he sees everybody else's response to it. And there's a great bit of grumbling and like accusations like, how dare you, think that you're above all of us, that you're this great, messiah or whatever. And Stilgar stands up and he's like, do you discount Kyra's visions were not true? You know were. And it's like, unless you're willing to challenge this man, who we know is one of our finest fighters, then you must respect Kyra's predictions for our people. Let it be known that the Mahdi sits at our table this day, and he will lead us to victory. You see, when they see Stilgar say this amongst the other Naibs, they are cowed. Visibly, you can tell some of them are just like, no, and they just walk out. Like they're done. They're taking their people with them. But some of them hear what you have to say and what Stilgar has to say, and it's like, in the Mahdi's name, they say, and they all pull out their Chris knives and pledge their lives to you unendingly. And now we'll switch back to the palace for two little scenes.
I have one more thing, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I don't feel that I am above any of you, or even the ones who've left. I'm even not above the Idwali. I will fight by your side. I will not stand in some faraway palace and judge what you do on the battlefield. I will shed my blood as readily as you shed yours. This is my promise. And he'll take the Chris knife and slice his hand and place it back in its holster.
They do the same. They follow your exact example, and they bleed on the table. And even some of them are like, look, see, he doesn't even want to be the Mahdi. Isn't that great? And you see somebody in the background's like, Lisan al-Gaib, the voice from the other world is real. The legend has become reality.
I'm
And now we
sorry,
return-
what?
Yes. And now we can return to the palace for a short scene. Oh, 2 shorts, rather. The first, I'm going to say, takes place in the infirmary of the now deceased Dr. Sloan, with Lady Daphne and Varis. They did the best they could, and they hooked you up to get replenish your fluids to make sure that you're okay. They patched you up accordingly. You don't have a sook doctor to look after you, but you have military trained medics and stuff like that to look over, and surgeons to look over you. You're doing a lot better. The drugs are definitely working. And the entire time, Varys hasn't left side, unless you wish him to be gone.
No.
How does this look like as you're awakening inside of the medical bay, and Varys just notices through minutia that you're starting to now come off of the drugs, and you're starting to be aware of your surroundings.
Oh. Well, this has been a day.
Yes, it has. I'll understand if you don't. If you can't be seen with me for political reasons or for personal reasons.
Oh, don't be silly. The only reason that I didn't want to be seen with you is that I thought you were after you.
It did start that way, didn't it? It's true what I said. Your kindness and the words that your mother bestowed upon you. Those words that encapsulated who you were true in every respect. They changed something within me.
I have not been worthy of them of late.
Oh, but you have. And you proved that today.
I couldn't have done it without the ritual.
I don't know. I feel that this ritual that you underwent, I don't pretend to understand it, but I think that whatever it is that you went through only enhanced the person you already were. It didn't change you. It just made you better. Because I still see, when I look upon you, the same person that I looked upon that night in Zihaya.
Well,
Am I wrong?
I suppose we'll see if I can live up to your ideal of me, my mother's ideal of me.
I think you should only follow your own ideal. Everyone else seems to recognize that in you. Your mother certainly did. I certainly did. You follow your own compass, Daphne. That's what you've always done, isn't it?
I did lose my way after Kyra died.
I think anyone would have. What happens now?
What's your new plan?
I don't know yet. But whatever it is, it's going to involve you.
Good.
It's a suppose we'll figure out the future together. Is there anything that you need from me? I'm obviously not who I said I was at the onset. I don't have retainers, I don't have armies, I don't have any of those things. Obviously, I'm going to have to repair what the things that have damaged and pay for my sins. My life is in your hands, Daphne. And I trust you to do what's right.
I don't need armies or anything from you. When the time comes to speak before the Sisselrod, I will speak in your defense.
I'm guessing that at some point he's gonna get carried away. Like he's allowed some time to speak with you based on what you told your guard to do or whatever, but afterwards they're gonna have to put him in cuffs and haul him away back to Jabberwock. So
Right. We're just gonna delay that as long as possible, though.
Fair enough. You're the Duchess, you make the rules. But at some point he's like, all right, you're going to need some time to rest and recuperate. You've been through a lot, we all have. And I think once you're ready, you're going to have to address everyone in this house. How we move forward. We have to confront the ugliness of how this all began, and we'll have to confront it together. I won't shrink from that responsibility. But first, you need to make a full recovery. However long it takes, right?
We'll have to get married before you speak to the Sisselrod.
He smiles. It's like, as you will, Your Grace. He says, I am at your command. I'll leave. Is there anything that you do or say after he leaves the med bay that you get rested?
There's a conversation that she wanted to have with Pardo, but I'll wait till Key can be here for that one.
Sure, no problem. Somebody else wants to have a conversation with Pardo, actually, which will be our second. Conquee. Pardo is disheveled, to say the least. He's running back and forth. He's on like 2 different communinets at the same time, in coordination with the starport and the local constabulary. He's like, yes, no, yes, go. Given coordinates, writing it verbatim as he remembered it. His eyes are rolling into the back of his head. He's pacing back and forth with his hands behind him in the grand upstairs stairway landing, like overlooking the courtyard and everything. That's where you find him, at least when you arrive back from the spaceport at the palace. It's nighttime now. Daphne's recuperating. What do you say to him?
Pardo, a moment of your time.
One moment, yes, one moment. You have a moment of my time. Perhaps I shall give you 2.
Thank you. I know your time is one of your most valuable assets.
Yes, please continue.
I heard your conversation, your dealings with Archibald, with
Did you?
Amira, with Eloise. Why?
Did you know? At this point, he knows that you're Norma, right? Just refresh my
Yes,
memory.
he knew from the get-go. He's the only one I was straight up honest with him. I had him make my backstory.
Someone has to keep an eye on them. Don't you think?
Yes.
It'd be too obvious if it would be you.
Especially considering Daphne's change and Archibald's deeper treachery.
Excuse me?
I pull out the Radulian sheet. I show it to him.
He puts two and two together very quickly. He hands it back to you. I suggest you put that in your back pocket, as it is said.
There's one more that will know about this before the Duchess finds out.
I already know who it is. Is that all?
And that is all. I thank you for being such a good child.
As you were. Gets back on the communicator. Yes, I told you to hold. All right, you can proceed. And now I imagine you proceed to Elois's chambers.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
You knock on the door. Amira opens it. What do you need?
I allow myself in.
Of course.
I close the door.
Amira's like,
I think the room is a mess, and there's bottles open.
yes, there are.
Oh good, this is exactly what I expected. Eloise, I see you aren't sated with your niece's kindness.
I won't be sated until the murderer of my sister and father is dead. What can I do for you, Bene Gesserit witch?
Get someone just as bad. You know that I am not the happy one that I say I am, but I'm not alone in this act. I show the sheet.
She'll look it over.
Mission accomplished, Uncle.
Crumple it and throw it.
Now. Daphne still needs to see this eventually.
Amira picks it up and looks at it and just kind of crumbles it in her hand slowly.
So I'm to be denied one vengeance and sent on another then. Is that the plan?
Your sister would never have it. Or your niece would never have it. You've had this vengeance, this desire against your uncle this whole time. Why not let it be fulfilled? It doesn't die that quickly.
No, it doesn't.
I take you know what will be the next course. Mr. Reed is also involved, seeing as you three were part of the plot before you knew.
I see.
And while you have fun, I get to keep someone else alive.
She'll tilt her head.
But that's not your problem. She won't be mine either.
You see yourself out at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mira shuts the door. She looks over to you, Elois. Murderess.
Oh, I did get the sheet back.
Did you just notice my name, Eric?
I did take the crumpled sheet up before I went, though.
Oh, okay, sure. That's fine. Pick it Take it with you. Amira looks to you, Elois. His wife. When you go after his wife, keep her hands clean.
Indeed. But
And the
first,
message.
we've been offered a grand gesture to join House Lisbrius. I can't think of a better reason than to leave House Cheshire than the events of this evening.
So be it. Long live House Librius. He says.
House Librius and downs it.
Great. At this point, would you take it to Daphne, Conquee? Or would you let her
I'm letting
take
her
some
rest.
time first?
I'm letting
Got
her
it.
rest.
You're waiting for the next house meeting to do that. Okay.
No.
Okay.
She needs at least a couple of days of recuperation before she hears of this new treachery.
Okay.
I mean, she did nearly die.
Yes, she did. After his wife, Amira asks. What then?
I guess we become stewards of Jabberwock.
He put her up to this. Is that where we stop? Or do we keep going? Remember, he wanted you to help him for his plan.
I think before we leave, we have one last conversation with Varis, or whatever his name is. He has the contacts we need. We'll get the army without my uncle. We'll kill everyone who's hurt us.
All of them, she says. And that's where we'll stop. All right.
Jesus.
Well, that's all the time that we have for this evening. I hope those watching and those at home enjoyed the show. We'll continue our adventures into the Imperium next Friday at 11. Let's go around the table one final time and introduce our wondrous cast here, beginning with Aaron.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aaron. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Cthulhu. I, once again, was reprising the lovely Eloise Cheshire, or if you're in our Zoom chat, murderous Eloise Cheshire. You can next find me. I might stream this weekend on my own channel. Very rare. There's unfortunately hate raids going around, so I might hold off. Fuck the haters. Queer folk ain't going anywhere. Anyways, without that, I think Thursday I'll be back on my beloved Dre LaFace channel. We're gonna be probably playing some Stardew Valley together again.
Nice. Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I've been the Maudie. I've been.
You're the Maudie now. There's no going back from that.
Oh god. Fuck. You can find me as Ambrose all over the internet as Am Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. Totally not panicking about this game.
Devin.
Hello and goodbye, all. I have been Conquee Sen. You can find me online at Sorta Sullied, and next time you'll see me will be on Monday.
Right. Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me at Leo the Black here on Twitch, and today I played for you Archibald, and I'm at the moment I'm like, damn you, Eric! Everyone's
You're
hunting
welcome.
now.
You're welcome.
You're awesome.
And last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello. Wow. I knew this was going to be intense, and this was not what I envisioned, but as intense as I expected. This was amazing. Hello, my name is Rachel. I've been playing Daphne. Yeah, this was amazing. You can find me next Monday, where I'll be running Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice, a Dragon Age RPG. And On Wednesday, I streamed the Dragon Age video game. I had to cut this week's stream short due to an extremely playful cat, but now I know to lap him around the apartment with a laser pointer a couple times. I post the schedule every Sunday, so come check it out. Lots of good stuff coming up.
Nice. Excellent. And I'm Eric at Modern Recluse Online. You'll find me here next week at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Big thanks as always to our viewers and fans for tuning in. And remember, never sit with your back to the door. Always remember your shield emitter, and be careful with whom you trust. For in the game of houses, nothing is truly as it seems. Good night, everyone.